Please, I would like us to appreciate anyone that is being called to the high table. Thank you very much. So also to join him on the high table is the Lagos State Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Systems, Mrs. Abisola Olusanya. She's ably represented by Mrs. Oluranti Aino Oviebo. Ms. Oluranti Aino is the State Director of Lagos Appeals Project and Head of Agri-Produce and Food Safety and Quality Control of the Ministry. A round of applause. You're welcome, ma'am. Also to join them on the high table is the Permanent Secretary of Lagos State Honorable Commissioner of Ministry of Environment and Water Resource. She is ably represented by Mrs. Falaye Aderemi Aino, who is the Deputy Director in the same ministry. You're welcome. A round of applause for her as she comes forward, please. All right, we also have in our midst the MD CEO of Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, represented by Mrs. Akpeno, who is the Head of Markets Waste Services in the agency. You're welcome. A round of applause for her as she comes forward. I'm honored to announce the presence of the immediate past president of NIFS, Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, to the high table, the person of Mr. Oluwole Toye. A round of applause for him, please. You're welcome, sir. We are honored to have you around. We are honored to have you. Also to join them on the high table is Mrs. Ibrahim Omowumi, Mrs. Omowumi, the Public Safety and Wellbeing Lagos State Safety Commission. A round of applause. Now we have our guest speaker of today, who is going to take us. Yeah. Okay. So our guest speaker for today, he came in quite early. We appreciate you for that, sir. Okay, it's the person of Dr. Nureni Okpaleye. A round of applause as he comes forward. Is going to be our guest speaker for today, and I believe you are going to have a wonderful time today. Okay. So I'm trying to see. We are gender balanced now. Dr. Okoroa was saying they are being overtaken by women, but I think we are gender balanced now. there is equality. All right. So I would also like to call to the high table the GM, Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, LASCOPA, who is presented by Mr. Rahim. Mr. Suluka Rahim is the Director of Social Social, Scientific and Innovation Department. You are welcome, sir. A round of applause, Mr. Suluka. Thank you for coming. Sorry for that. I would also like to invite to the high table okay. All right. We have someone that I called an astute nutritionist who is passionate about our profession. I just asked her that, okay, what should I call you? I said, I thought your brand name is the name, and she said that's actually her name. So I would like to call to the high table to join Mr. Razak, Mrs. Celia Penny. A round of applause for her, please. You're welcome. You're welcome to the high table. So once again, we want to welcome everyone, and we want to go into the program. We want to start with the national anthem. I want to urge everyone to please rise up as we take the national anthem. Thank you very much. Before we take our seats, before we take our seats, please, we would like to take the opening prayer. I just wanted to say that thank God that they revoked the law that anyone that couldn't sing the national anthem would be jailed. So, because so many of us would have been National Assembly members. Okay. All right. I would like to take the opening prayer now. The prayer will be taken by Celia Penny.
Good morning, everyone. In Jesus' name. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for this gathering. Beautiful people with great hearts. Lord, I ask that in this event today, that we will all open our hearts to you to receive, oh God, and to make meaningful contribution to the health of all the Nigerian people. I thank you in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Please, we may have our seats. Thank you. Before we move on, before we call the convener of today, we also like to call to the high table Dr. Ajayi T.F., who is the Director of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety, or who is ably represented by Mrs. Ayodele Emo. Ms. Ayodele, you are welcome to the high table, please. A round of applause for her, please, as she comes. Okay, we also like to recognize, wherever you are, just wave your hands, let's see you. So we also like to recognize the Lagos State, the Chairman, Lagos State Caterers of the Caterers and Decorators Association, Mr. Olajumoke Abraham Agbelusi. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for honoring the invitation. All right, without much ado, we want to go to the welcome remarks. Welcome remarks by Mr. Food himself, fondly called the Food Evangelist. And recently he was with Oni of Ife in the company of some elders in NIPS. You know, NIPS is the body of food science and technology, the national food body. And we are looking for the name to give him. We are still consulting for the name to give him, and we will do the ways. So I would like to call the convener of today's inauguration, the person of Mr. Razak. Okay, a round of applause for him as he comes forward.
Morning, everyone. In fact, I'm happy seeing all these beautiful faces today. It's a great honor, personally, to me, and I want to appreciate everybody that left whatever they are doing to be here, despite your busy schedule. The chairman of the occasion, Dr. Augustine Okorua, the deputy country director of GAIN, Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, who is Dr. Abbas Yusuf, who is honorably absent, and the representative, the head of policy and advocacy in GAIN, Sister Joyce Apata, supposed to be here. She's still on her way. We are expecting her. And I want to appreciate the guest speaker for today, Dr. Nureni Opaleye. Equally, I want to appreciate everybody that's on the high table. Dr. Mrs. Ovivo, I want to appreciate you. Mrs. Sapkeno, you are very well appreciated. Mrs. Alale, you are very well appreciated. And these are my family, Lascopa and Safety Commission. They are my family. And immediate past president of Nigerian Institute for Food Science and Technology. And I want to appreciate everybody that have registered to be a member of Association for Promotion of Food Safety and Improved Nutrition, Lagos State Chapter. It is with great joy that I welcome you to today's event. We thank God, whom by His mercies and grace has kept us alive to witness this occasion. And I personally want to say this is the first of its kind, because this is the first time that I will see the relevant stakeholders in Lagos State attending this kind of program. Not sending low-level officers. All of us are equally important. Seeing all of them here today, despite their busy schedule, there's a program going up there. Most of them are here. And we have to appreciate them. Can you help me to appreciate them, please? And this has further shows that the Lagos State government attach much importance to the well-being of everybody resident in Lagos State, especially when you look at the team of the governor Babajide Babashola Sanwo-Olu, like I said. When you look at the team, you look at the age, you look at the heat, and he's talking about health and environment, and all of them are here. So you have to appreciate them. Politics apart, you have to appreciate them. Who is APFSAN? APFSAN, I'm happy to be here today because the person that established APFSAN in Lagos and in Kebbi State, Dr. Augustine Okonkwo, is personally present here. He traveled all the way from Ibadan to be here for this important occasion. APFSAN is an intervention program of Global Alliance for Food Nutrition. And they are here to promote food safety and improve nutrition. And this program was started by Feed the Future, funded by USAID in Nigeria. And we are registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Actually, we want to focus our attention more on the traditional market in Lagos State, where we are present. And I quickly have to say this before I move on. What I remember when I was discussing with the top echelon again, if there's anything they remember Lagos State for, they said Lagos State is the only government that put a stop to the use of styrofoam. And we pray other states will be able to copy it. Though, we still have to continue with the advocacy because people are still using it. Because we need stakeholders engagement so that people will know why they said they should not use it because of their health. And what are some of the specific objectives of APFSAN? We want to promote, educate, sensitize, create awareness on food safety in the informal market state in Nigeria. To encourage and improve the demand for consumption of safe and nutritious food among consumers in Nigeria. To organize and ensure ethical programs, workshops, and seminars on food safety among farmers, food vendors, and other value chain. To partner and consolidate our relationship with several government agencies. It's evident that all of them are here today. Why is APFSAN important in Nigeria? We know food safety is essential to protecting health and livelihood. While the burden of unsafe food falls on consumers in certain areas, but when we look at some of these things that got to do with they focus more attention on Kebbi State and Lagos State. Any program you are having in Nigeria, that you are not getting Lagos State, I don't see it going to fail because Lagos is let's clap for ourselves. APFSAN provide platform that encourages multi-stakeholders cooperation as a good today to promote food safety and nutrition. We are not. APFSAN Institute. APFSAN because the membership is open to everybody. Professionals can join us. Anybody that take interest in that is known. And then has developed a lot of training material. First of all, we are going to share with our members before the general public. We have a shoppers checklist. When you want to buy red meat, the market. When you want to buy vegetable, some of those things are supposed to be fast. When you want to buy fish meat, buy fish. When you want to buy vegetable, when you want to buy grains, safely transporting your food items from the market to your homes. We have a checklist that our members can do. And we are not only targeting our members, but it's more like a training plan. You need to really keep that is why we find it very, very important like this. It's surprising that this program was and I want to appreciate Dr. Bogla, who gave me the thumb up that I think whatever it takes, let's jumpstart it because we have a lot of things to do in the hospital. So you are welcome. When you want to start up, you only need to have about 50 meters. And when I just put it on the top, Saturday, sir, tell you that and it got across and it's interesting that I can point to 3 directors on this thing that said no Mr. Adak, we are not going to do it. So everybody that is not to take our efforts not to, and as we are living here today, because today apart from the team that I don't want to what the parents go to talk to use the same opportunity. Everything about it. All of us. Once again,
we enjoyed all of us to be a part of this course of food safety. All right, we move on in the program, and we want to have the opening speech. And the opening speech will be delivered by the chairman of the Union, Dr. August.
2020 to January this year. This was born out of concern for every Nigerian with focus on traditional markets, the informal sector. So they have been left aside in government regulations previously. Now, the ISA project recognized the need for the informal sector to be captured in regulation when it comes to food safety. And so we made representation on the review of the national policy of food safety and its implementation strategy, and then the revision of the food safety and quality bill to include the informal sector, the traditional food market to be involved included in those documents. And as you may be aware, the national policy of food safety and quality and its implementation plan was launched earlier this year during the World Food Safety Day by the Minister of Health. And that makes it very important that APFSAN is actually in line with the government policy. And the purpose of APFSAN is very clear. Everyone involved in the food value chain, from farm to the table, can become a member of APFSAN, including the media. If APFSAN as a non-governmental organization is registered as a non-governmental organization, so it's a legal entity. It's not just an ordinary, it's a legal entity. APFSAN can actually do expression of interest for RFPs, for request for proposal, and conduct trainings and do other things as an organized association. The beauty about APFSAN also is that it is state-based. Every state runs their own chapter according to the peculiarities and contexts of their state. You don't take directions from other states. Look at your states. What are the most critical things you need to focus on? Lagos State will be different from Kebbi and Sokoto. Interestingly, this association will launch on the 27th of May 2022. That is the war of the children. May 27 is which day? Children what? Children's Day. It was the day of the day it was approved by the government, by the Corporate Affairs Commission. And we did a launching in Kebbi and Sokoto State on the 8th of September, and then on the 15th of September. So I want to challenge us that membership of the association, although requires personal commitments, requires that you make sure that you play your own role, you play your own part. And this association also means that what you are being taught, you apply it at home. Because everything goes back to the home. In the kitchen, you need to apply for safety. So it's a very interesting association. So it's two-pronged, and I want you to also pay attention to that. We have association for what? Promotion of what? Promotion of what? And what? So the reason why it is that food is not nutritious if it is not safe. So it's 2 in 1, and that is why it's very important that when you are talking about food security, you cannot be talking about food security without food safety. Because no matter the quantity you produce, if it is not safe for consumption, nobody will consume it, and even if it is consumed, it will not deliver the nutrients that are needed. So the inclusion of food safety in food security program is really very important. At the federal government level, at the state level, and now at the local government level. And we expect that Lagos State have a food safety officer. Does Lagos State have a food safety officer? No, for the state as a state.
Yes.
Okay, because the law requires that each state have a state food safety officer, just like we have a nutrition officer under the state committee of food and nutrition. So I want to appreciate those of you that are here physically and those that are joining us online and those who have registered. This is an association that will blossom if each and every one of us play our part. We need to ensure that the issue of food safety, the issue of improved nutrition are given the attention they are needed at the individual level, at the corporate level, at the community level, at the market level. Is there any market authority represented here? Market management authority. They are an important stakeholder. Every market management authority is an important stakeholder. So please don't exclude them. Like my job market, whichever market, like the labor market is talking about, the market authority or management have a role to play in food safety. If they buy into the importance of food safety, they will help you to promote the ideas and objectives of this association. And like I said before I close, the media, they are important. Because if people are not well informed, they will believe the wrong story, isn't it? So we need to be able to get the media to send simple messages very clear so that they can pass it across to the general public. Because this association is not meant for a few, it is meant for the whole Lagos state. Everybody that is resident in Lagos state is supposed to hear about food safety and improved nutrition. And I'm glad that I'm here out of that. And I wish this chapter good success as we start. And we'll be hearing about Lagos state continually, and we believe strongly that the beneficiaries will be all those that are residents in Lagos state. Not only the Lagosians, but everyone that comes to Lagos, sells in Lagos, reside in Lagos, eats in Lagos, travel through Lagos, through the airport, through the hotel, through the market, everywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, sir, for that speech, for giving us understanding into what APFSAN it's all about. Like I said earlier, that's everybody's business. And I was asking if there are market representatives here. I want to believe that we have one or two representatives of about 12 markets, because that is where the markets, before we get to the table, most times the farmers, we might not have the farmers around, but at least we might have the market people around. All right, while Dr. Okorua was speaking, a guest came in. I learned that this program is also powered by GAIN. Okay, so one of the
I'm ex-game.
and what?
I said I'm ex-game. So I'm an ambassador of game.
I know. I actually want to introduce a person from GAIN. So I said I understand that it's powered by GAIN. Yes. So we have someone from GAIN that came in. The person is actually representing the Deputy Country Director of GAIN, Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. The person is Dr. Abbas Yusuf. So the person representing is Mrs. Joyce Apata. Mrs. Joyce Apata is the head of policy and advocacy of GAIN. Please, you are welcome to the line table. So we're giving us a speech now. So we'd like you to come forward. Mrs. Joyce Apata, you're welcome. So it's like saying in Yoruba parlance, they brought us here, they brought us together. This GAIN is the brain behind APFSAN. So APFSAN, all right. So we would like to take our speech now. All right. So can you please rise as we take a brief profile of Mrs. Joyce? You can just say, won't take it. All right. All right. So I'll just read a brief profile of Mrs. Joyce APFSAN. All right, Joyce is a lawyer and international development professional who has distinguished herself in a number of challenging jobs from publishing, training, and management, and has successfully managed business, turnaround of non-profit membership organizations while fostering international trade, economic development, and public policy through asset advocacy and stakeholder engagement. Joyce currently serves as head of policy and advocacy at the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition Aid, a Swiss-based foundation launched at the UN in 2002 to tackle the human suffering caused by malnutrition. In this role, she leads GAIN, Nigeria's wider influencing agenda, and is responsible for ensuring that the interventions led by GAIN and its different partners are coordinated so that overall project and policy goals are met. Prior to GAIN, Joyce was the Director General of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, in which position she had responsibility for turning around the chamber, an assignment she discharged credibly. Given her success at the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, it is no wonder that the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce sought her out to bring her experiences to bear in the administration of the chamber and her stellar performance in transforming the chamber stood out. Joyce is a graduate of the University of Abuja, where she obtained a law degree. She went on to obtain a qualifying certificate from the Nigerian Law School, at which she was the winner of several coveted prizes. A round of applause, including Best Graduate Student in Civil and Criminal Procedures. Wonderful. In her quest to expand her horizon, Joyce enrolled and concluded an MBA from the Durham University Business School and has attended several professional and personal development courses. She's a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators UK, a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, and also an alumni of the Lagos Business School. A dedicated, dynamic, and hardworking individual, Joyce has a penchant for service, and these are seen her being active in charitable and volunteering in Lagos from an early age. She has been an active member of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, a Catholic charity organization, for over 25 years, and the Lions Clubs International. She's also a passionate long-distance runner and has participated in marathons in different parts of the world. Joyce is a dedicated wife and a proud mother of 3 young men. Ladies and gentlemen, with a big round of applause as I welcome to the program Mrs. Joyce APFSAN.
Good morning, fantastic. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was standing there feeling like I was going to be presented an award. Because I would have expected that when my colleagues were sharing a profile, they will adapt it to suit the event one is attending and not just send a whole, overview of someone's career life. But be that as it may, let me start by apologizing for coming in a bit late. I had another presentation at a meeting. Had to run from there here, so it's a pleasure to be here, and apologies for coming in late. It's an honor to be here today to witness the launch of the Lagos State chapter of the Association for Promotion of Food Safety and Improved Nutrition in Nigeria. I bring you greetings from our country director, Dr. Michael Ojo, and the entire GAIN Nigeria team. This event marks a significant milestone not only for the association, but for the larger vision we share of a Nigeria where safe and nutritious food is accessible to all. At the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, GAIN, our mission has always been very clear: to improve the consumption of healthier diets for all, especially the most vulnerable, by improving the availability, affordability, desirability, and sustainability of nutritious and safe foods, and of course reducing the consumption of unhealthy and unsafe foods. For the benefits of those who might not know, GAIN is a Swiss-based foundation launched at the United Nations in 2002 to tackle human suffering caused by malnutrition. GAIN strategy aims to transform food systems to make healthier diets from sustainable food systems accessible to all, especially those who are most vulnerable to shocks. By 2027, we do aim to improve access of 1.5 billion people globally to nutritionally enhanced staple foods. And we also hope to enhance the diets of 25 million people and support positive food systems transformation across all the countries where we work. One of our key initiatives in Nigeria has been the Eat Safe project, which was implemented in Kebbi and Sokoto states, with the aim of enabling lasting improvements in safety of nutritional foods, particularly in informal markets, as our traditional markets. The Eat Safe project focused on empowering consumers and building their demand for safe and nutritious food, while also working with market vendors and other stakeholders to improve food safety practices. But as we all know, all projects have timelines and interventions do come to an end. And the question we are usually faced with is, what next? How do we ensure that the impact and successes we made in the lifespan of this project, are sustained after the end of this project? This brings me to why APFSAN and today is very special. Because we saw APFSAN not just an intervention, but a cornerstone of our sustainability plan. We envision this as an independent national association that will carry forward the momentum that was created by the Eat Safe project, ensuring that the good work that we started with other stakeholders continues to drive and expand beyond the confines of the project itself. APFSAN's success in Kebbi and Sokoto states, where over 2,000 members have registered and where substantial capacity building activities have been conducted, speaks to the power of collective and community building efforts. APFSAN has gone beyond the traditional market setting in those states by establishing food safety clubs in schools and also influencing nutrition-related policies at state level. Thus, the launch of the Lagos State chapter is a testament to the vision we all share. A vision where we have a safer, healthier, and better nourished Nigeria. We're excited to see how APFSAN will grow, evolve, and lead change in promoting food safety and improved nutrition across the nation. So as we move forward, it's key for us to remember that achieving our objective will require collective effort. Whether it's through project interventions, whether it's through association like APFSAN, each and every one of us has a duty and responsibility to ensure improved access to safe and nutritious food in a very lasting manner. So I want to thank everyone here for the commitment, for the passion, for the dedication to this cause. And I believe that working together, we will make a difference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a marathon series. She said she was a marathon person. So that was me. I
I'm a sprint person, short distance races. All right, thank you very much for this speech. We appreciate it. Now we go to the good news messages. And then we'd like to call on the representative from the East, or I can call him one of our elders, and Mr. Oluwole to the good news message for APFSAN.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here. And, bring you greetings from the Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology, from our president, Dr. Professor Joseph Abu, the entire executive, all our members. Just for a couple of seconds, who probably, and I'm sure there will be many who do not know about NIST, the Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. NIST is an institute of food professionals, starting from the tertiary, the polytechnics and the universities, to all the big food industry, the SMEs, government policy makers. Our membership run across all these sectors and areas I mentioned. We are established in 13 states of the Federation. We have been advocating, teaching, informing about food science and technology, and specifically about food safety for 47 years. Food safety is the cornerstone and the centerpiece of NIST. We sleep it, we eat it, and we share it. That is NIST. Very quickly again, we had in past years established what we can call hazard points in food safety. That's the home. And I was glad when the chairman said the women have taken over this idea. And I told him that it's rightly so. They are the custodians of food safety. So it's right for them to be. Food safety in the house is under recognized. No matter how safe the food is coming from outside, when you're preparing at home, they are the problem. The second area I'd like to mention is our mama foods, the industrial man, the polyman, the akara, the yam, right? It's interesting, 75% of the Nigerian population eats from this country. 75%. Imagine if there's an outbreak from any of these sources. How many people? Yes, food safety is everybody's business, but it's also not cheap. I'd just like to say, closing, that lives is not only as to support innovation, promotion of food safety, and we're not only the support. We have a lot of things in common. But to tell you that we have translated this new world of talking into action. But ask those who are NIPS members to raise up their hand in this room. We are not less than 50. So you can imagine. The chairman believes that. The last speaker, I think what we should forward. I'm sure at the end of this week, he's going to approach that we can form to become our member. We are very, very passionate. You are already an affiliate. Thank you very much. So if you are not a minister and you are in this room, please approach any one of us. We are open because together we can make Nigeria and our food safe. Thank you.
I'm a minister. A proud one at that. Thank you very much. Okay, we appreciate you for that good message. So we'll call on our guests from Ministry of Agriculture and Food System to give our goodwill message, Mrs. Oluroti Aino Uviego. Thank you. Round of applause for her, please. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I bring greetings from the Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture and Food System, Ms. Ruth Olusoya, who is unavoidably absent. As I speak, she's having a press conference, and it's in connection with food security in Lagos State. As we all know, the Ministry of Agriculture's name has been changed of recent. We used to be Ministry of Agriculture, but now it's Ministry of Agriculture and Food System. And why is this so? It's because we're looking at agriculture holistically, from the farm to the table. And so when you talk about getting wholesome food to Lagosians, that's the responsibility of the Ministry of Agriculture. 3 new departments were added to the ministry, and one of the departments is agri-produce, food safety, and quality control. And so when I saw this letter of invitation, I just smiled. You know, that tells you that agriculture, Lagos State is proactive. I met with Mr. Okay, and we had a discussion, and in the course of our discussion, I was smiling. Virtually everything he wants to do is what Lagos State government is already doing. When you talk about food security, when you talk about food safety, it actually starts from the farm. It starts from the farm. The seeds that you are planting, how have you kept it? What chemicals have you used? Your production process, what are you doing? You know, your withdrawal period. Some people will sell vegetables that they have just applied chemicals to. Some people will sell cows that have just been injected with one treatment or the other. The same thing with fish. You know, so many things, the whole process. And so when you are talking about production holistically, you know, agriculture is at the forefront of it. We're ensuring that farmers are adhering to best practices. That's something that we're promoting to our farmers. Best practices where we have extension agents who go to farms, ensuring that all these things are properly adhered to. The new department that has been formed, the mandate is food safety, like I said, quality control, quarantine, and post-harvest losses. And then the management of the farm, hubs, we call them hubs, not markets in Lagos State. So the hubs, we're looking at how do we ensure that the market man, the market woman brings wholesome food to the market at affordable price. And then we also ensure quality control in the hubs, because we look at virtually everybody who brings things to the hub, and there has to be traceability. That's part of what we're doing at the hub, traceability. Even for your rice, for your gari, for whatever you are bringing to the hub, we want your address. We need to interact with you before you come. What are the processes that you have undergone before you have arrived at this? So this is a win-win situation for us. And one of the things that made me excited, I think when the speaker was talking, she talked about the power of community-driven efforts. You know, it has to be everybody. I keep saying that the problem of Nigeria is not the leaders. It's that most of us are not patriotic. We don't mind who gets hurt in the process of our dealings. And so if every one of us is accountable, if we have a conscience, the farmer, the processor, the market person, the hoteler, the restaurant person, everybody, we must be accountable, knowing fully well that someday we will go back to our maker and we will all be accountable to God, if not to any man, at least to God. So I'm happy to be here representing the Honorable Commissioner,
And coincidentally, I'm the director for food safety and quality control, food hubs in Lagos State. So I don't think there's any better place to be than to be here. And of course, I will be a member of all the different organizations just to make sure that the Lagosians get quality and affordable food on the table. Thank you for having us. And on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner, once again, we say good morning. Thank you. We gladly welcome you to NIST. All right. You know, she was saying something that people do not have conscience. You know, I wonder that people will stay in a place. I saw one video, I don't know how many of us saw the video, and then the water they were actually producing, they were getting it from their WC. I don't know if you saw it. The water that they were packaging, it's actually from a mall, a shopping mall, and the water they were packing in the water bottle, they were getting it from the WC to the bottle. So it's a whole lot of work. And you know, like somebody said, the person that usually say it is here, Mr. Raoul Egbewole. He said we should not be saying Raoul. It might be no. Mr. Egbewole. Don't let me say that word. Mr. Raoul, okay, Egbewole. He said we always talk to ourselves. That most times we talk to ourselves. You know, this is a small gathering. How I wish that Ma and everyone on the high table, you know, they will be proactive. Are there laws? Are there laws? Somebody once said that we usually say, Nigerians, they don't call their animals because if they say don't cross, that's when they will cross. Climb the pedestrian bridge, they will not climb. But certain people, when they go outside of the shores of Nigeria, they obey. Why? Those people that we call animals, when they live here, they go there and obey. They don't longer become animals. Why? Because there are no enforcement. There are laws, you know, but we don't enforce them. If anybody does it and there are repercussions, we know. I usually tell people that why did Fashola, at least in a context, why did he do successfully in a context? When he said don't do this and you do it, you face the law, you face the music, and everybody sat up. So if, you know, the farmers, we are just saying they are using fertilizers, everybody is now talking about organic farming. If we are serious about safety, I think we should be proactive. We should do something. Every stakeholder should rise up and do something. Let there be laws. Let people be brought to book if they go against these laws. I believe that we will get there. We'll get there one day. We'll get there. So while moving on in the goodwill messages, we'd like to call on the representative from Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, Mrs. Falaye Adewemi. A round of applause for her, please. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm representing my permanent secretary, Dr. Mobalaji Gaji, who would have loved to be here, but due to some state assignment. The issue of food safety at Ministry of the Environment, we take it as a paramount importance for us because we ensure food safety through proper hygiene and sanitation. I used to tell people, you are what you eat. And balanced diet in an unhygienic environment is not safe at all. And at the ministry, when we talk of food safety, our vision and mission geared towards that. And that is why the earlier part of this year, the styrofoam was banned, which we realized that it's not even hygienic for people to be packing food. And that was banned. And at the same time, in the Ministry of the Environment, there are 8 agencies. And all these agencies speak to the food safety. When you talk of water corporation, water regulation, you know, you cannot make a food without all this. And when you talk of Loma and which they are all here. And when you talk of the local market that you're talking about, you know, we are very proactive in Lagos. We enter the market because the hygiene in the market, it falls under our purview, you know, to ensure that markets across Lagos State are all clean and hygienic. And we even go there to advocate and sensitize, because when you're looking at all this, you realize that it has to do with the behavioral change of people. As the MC said, that when they go out, they are another thing. When they are here, they are another thing. So we go into the market to sensitize them on best hygiene practice. And we're not even doing that. We go to the community to do that. And when you talk of environment, there are three key components that are very key. And it speaks to the food safety. And those are, you talk of the soil, that is where the produce comes from. You talk of the water, soil, and air. And when you look at it, we are even changing the attitude, because when you're talking of food safety, it has to do with the climate change. So all this, and we carry out unscheduled monitoring to all these local food vendors. Even we realized there was a video that was online that they are using beer to smoking abala. So during the course of sensitizing all these vendors, we realized that they are using paracetamol to make fufu. They are using snail to boil meat. And all this, we have to go in there. We sensitize the market, or even when bringing it from the farm, there is need for you to do separation. We advocate to all these vendors, you don't mix cook with uncooked. And even during the course of monitoring, and they pay heavily for us. And I want to tell you that Ministry of the Environment is part of the State Committee on Food and Nutrition, and in which they even passed it to the vulnerable, the young ones. We have a booklet we do in conjunction with the Ministry of Education. They even launched a club in all these things, because we realize that let's start from the young ones. So let's be straight to them. When you get to tell your parents, right from home, right from where they are cooking it, because I did the things at home. And by saying this, I want to end this by telling you that food safety is a multi-sectorial issue. And that is why you have all these stakeholders here. It's something that we do collectively. And as Ministry of the Environment, I'll tell you that we are top chair on this. Even our organic waste, we are recycling them, turning them to biogas. And we are happy that Kebbi, Sokoto, and thank God that you are here, sir, because Lagos is the giant of all. I will tell you that Lagos State and other states. So I will tell you that you are now at the right state to do this. So I wish everyone fruitful deliberation, fruitful inauguration, and I tell you that Mr. Egbewole, I'm a member of NIFS, Abi. So it's just we are changing the behavioral change, the mindset, and we continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Well said. Ma, let me reiterate. I know there are laws, but it's the enforcement that is the issue. The enforcement. All right, we'll move on in the program quickly, and we would like to call on the representative of the Ministry of Health in the person of Mrs. Ayodele to give our. Mrs. Ayodele. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. I brought greeting from the Honorable Commissioner, Lagos State Ministry of Health, Dr. Akin Abayomi, and the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Olusegun Ogbonyi, and my director, who is honorably absent, Dr. Ajayi T.S., the Director of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety, Lagos State Ministry of Health. Lagos State Ministry of Health, Directorate of Environmental and Occupational Health and Safety, is mandated with core responsibility of monitoring all establishments in Lagos State, monitoring all food establishments in Lagos State, the food establishment factories, hotels, restaurants, bakeries, water factories, and others. We carry out our mandate by the use of a tool, a special tool, the HACCP tool, which is the hazard analysis and critical control points, which is used to prevent all hazards from farm to table of the consumers, and the food safety unit of the directorate is mandated to audit and certify all food establishments that are doing the right thing in the state to prevent all hazards in food that they are producing, and making sure they're actually producing a wholesome food for consumers. And I'm glad to be here, and I'm appreciating the organizer, congratulating the organizers of this program, organizing this laudable event, achieving food safety and improved nutrition in Nigeria. And because I know food safety is the core responsibility of everyone in the state, and in Lagos State Ministry of Health, we started intensifying by reaching out to the traditional markets in the state. Like in last year, Food Safety Day, we cascaded the information to myself markets. We partner with the Lagos State Ministry of Lagos State Safety Commission, and this year event was carried to aggregate markets, and we informed the market men and women on the proper handling, storage of food in the state. And I believe with the inauguration of this wonderful organization, I know the traditional market will be well informed on how to prevent, to preserve, and to make sure what they are selling to the populace is wholesome for human consumption. I appreciate you once again, and I congratulate the organization of this program, and I wish you the best in your future endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma. You know, I'm just thinking, I don't know which of the ministry will do the job. I'm thinking we should have food safety police. It just came to mind that I think there should be food safety police. That is, that's Wole before. Yes, I think we should have something like it. Just came to mind. I think Mrs. Amoreliwa. There should be something like that, you know. You know, she said they went to the market. I know that Nif usually go to the market every year. Food safety day. We go everywhere, but you still hear a lot of things. When Mrs. Oviego was speaking, she said that they use paracetamol. As a matter of fact, they use hypo. I don't know if you have seen it. I was in class the other day. I told my students to go online. Let's see that, and they were saying that hypo, hypo. They said they make it rise and white. Hypo inside food. Yeah, inside food. And these days you hear different kinds of cancer, cancer of the lung, cancer of the stomach, of the small intestine, and a lot. So I think we should do a lot better. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should go ahead to even have police, food safety police to farms, to the markets. And by the time they see that you are arresting them, maybe our head will set. That's Yoruba. The head will set. We will sit tight. All right. That said, we want to move on quickly with goodwill messages. I want to call on the representative of Lagos State Safety Commission, Mrs. Ibrahim Omowumi. Thank you very much, ma'am. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, please, I don't want to bore us with so much stuff. I bring greetings from my DG, Mr. Larry Mojola, who is unavoidably absent, like my colleagues said. He's attending to other states matters at the moment, anyway. Like we say in Safety Commission, food safety is everybody's business. It is not just the regulatory agencies alone. I really want to thank Alaji Rauf. He's doing a great job in that part because I've been to so many advocacies that he has done. I'm a member of NIS anyway, a proud member anyway. I'm a proud financial financial member. Okay, by God's grace. So I don't want to go into so much. Lagos State Safety Commission is committed to food safety. I'm the head of the food safety unit under the public safety and well-being department. Because even here, as we are, everybody will see it. Where the food is coming from, we don't know. How it is prepared, we don't know. But we always advocate that even from our home, what we cook in our own kitchen should be safe. When you are cutting this, don't use the same thing for cutting vegetables and dairies and this and that, the knives and whatever. But how many of us take that into cognizance? You just want to cook and just rush out of the kitchen, especially we women. I'm tired. I just want to make something for my children, for my husband. Let's all take food safety very, very serious. Like my sister said, you are what you eat. If you eat good food, nutritional food, safe food, you will be. Our hospitals will be rid of patients all the time. Because when you eat food and you're sick, you go to the hospital. The government will spend so much in taking care of people. But when we eat very good food, even our health is improved. Government will not pay more for all this our health insurance and the rest. So in safety commission, we advocate safety is everybody's business. If you see something, say something. Government officials cannot be everywhere. Please, when you see anybody that is doing the wrong thing, as a food advocator, please go to that person, teach the person. Because we know these are our local women. But that's the way we do it. They don't even want to change. If you want to tell them anything, they're like, what do you want to tell them that is new? I'm older than you. I know this business more than you. This is where we've been doing it and nothing has happened. Maybe they don't know that very day, because the issue of cholera that is in Lagos State of recent was as a result of tiger nut. So people that they bought the tiger nut with their own money and they ended up in the hospital, even some in the mortuary. So we should be very careful about the food we eat. Thank you, everybody. All right, we move on because of our time. Thank you for the video message. We want to call the representative of Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LOMA, Mrs. Akpeno, who is the head of market waste services in the agency. Your good message. Good morning, sir, on the high table. Good morning, on the high table, and good morning, audience. My name is Akpeno Aderoke, representing the Managing Director, CEO, Loma, Dr. Miwa Wadegeshi. When she introduced me to the high table, she called Loma, the full meaning of Loma, Lagos Waste Management Authority, but she said Lagos State Waste Management Authority. No, we are on Lagos State. Point of correction. Lagos Waste Management Authority. As we all know, Loma, we have a vision and we have a mission. The waste in Lagos State is enormous. Due to the population of Lagos State, I will tell you categorically, we evacuate over 490,000 trailers of waste every day, which is over 15 tons of waste in Lagos State per day. You can see it's enormous and it is not a joke. God said, cleanliness is next to godliness. We all know. Even God Almighty Himself emphasized on cleanliness in proper waste management. The traditional worshippers, the Muslims, the Christians, they emphasize on hygiene. They emphasize on cleanliness. And this waste, it is beyond us alone. Please, anything that is being said and done here, we want it to go back to the people out there to sensitize, to advocate on adequate and proper waste management. If there's no proper waste management in Lagos State, there will be no food hygiene. Even from the farm produce, if the food coming from the farm is well packaged, is well prevented, what about marketplaces? The waste, the time of COVID, and all this. Where are the sources? It's from waste generated, poor waste management. And I noticed that this association emphasized more on improper sector, starting from the market, traditional market, is there traditional market, urban market, ultra urban market, supermarket, malls, plazas, mechanic workshop, hospitals, and in waste management, there are procedures from waste collection to transportation and sustainable and adequate disposal of this waste. From our domestic homes, many of us don't pay for waste. We prefer to put on the median, the roadside, or even in the marketplace. Actually, I saw some market stakeholders, my 12 market. People from the home, they'll carry their waste from their home and bring it to the market because they feel market ó gbolẹ̀ ó gbọ̀lẹ̀ ọjà òyìnbó ni kò mọ̀ pé èèyàn kan ò wá. There's no policing. And in Loma of recent, last year, we sealed over 15 markets for poor waste management. I think enforcement is the key. And we saw a drop awareness and sensitization and compliance by all these markets in Lagos State. Starting from containerization of this waste. If you don't containerize your waste, there will be no proper waste management. We cannot containerize your waste for you. It is the purview of the market, the former, the informal, to containerize their waste. And it's the duty of Loma to now come, evacuate the waste, and dispose the waste adequately. But if there's no proper containerization of how do we now evacuate adequately, how do we dispose adequately? And we will emphasize to all these marketplaces, you need to get your market policing. Lagos State cannot do it all. Informal sectors is a commercial sector. That's where they generate their revenue from every day. Their means of livelihood is subject to their marketplaces. And if they have their own internal policing to monitor the activities of this market, it will go a long way for all of us. There's nobody that will not enter market to buy, whether the urban market, the traditional market. And we will emphasize, even after containerizing their waste, sort your waste from the source. If you sort your waste from the source, one you know below the cans, the plastics, recycling is a big deal. It's money now. We have even app now on the platform. For instance, the Packham, the plastic bottles, the can bottles. If you separate it, it's money. You get your money back. Waste to wealth initiative. We use like my the Kosi food market for our gas generation. Methane gas is generated from this waste. But if the waste are not well sorted, the gas that is being generated will be limited. I will still need to refine and all that. Apart from getting containerized waste in market, we make sure that they put their bin keepers to monitor their bin. If the waste is filled up, it is duty of the bin keeper to call the evacuators. We have their PSP, private sector partnership, and we have our Loma operations that evacuate this waste. So call them, our waste is filled up, and to evacuate the waste on time. Thank you. I will be brief. Thank you. It's very exciting, very, very, to have full stakeholders in a meeting like this, an event. Everyone speaking from different angles. Thank you very much. I know we use. You said what? You okay? This program is quite interesting, and it's going to make. I'm going to make sure 5 of us from Loma will join the list today. Thank you. Round of applause. Okay. All right. So we are here, yes, we are here to inaugurate Association for Promotion for Food Safety and Improved Nutrition, APFSAN. So Dr. Okoro is telling our needs and APFSAN. Needs and APFSAN. Okay. I want to believe they are um, running towards the same goal. The same goal. Yeah, food safety, which is very important. We are working together, sir. All right. Okay. So when she was talking about waste, I was wondering, do I even need to wonder? We see it every day, we see it every time, the waste everywhere. But there was a time we wrote the proposal to carry out a research at mile 12 to convert the waste, the fruit waste, to vinegar. The proposal was not granted. It was not a personal proposal, it's from an institution. Then Lasotec, now Lasotec. So we wrote a proposal that, okay, all these waste, why don't you get them? To convert them to something instead of just throwing all the waste away. I know that people are working on getting gas now. I know Lagos is doing that, so we can do more. Fertilizers and the likes. Okay, we will represent. We will represent. Okay. Thank you very much. So we move on quickly with the goodwill messages, and I would like to call Mr. Suluka Rahim from Las Copa to give us a goodwill message. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman and other distinguished members of the Assembly. Our important guests and invitees, and also, of course, the organizers of today's program. Mr. Elke is a friend of the Consumer Protection Agency, and he's been very active in any issue that has to do with food safety, Lagos State. So I want everybody to give me a round of applause for that. Thank you. As earlier said, my name is Lucas, but people call me Lucas. I'm also Lucas. I'm the head of scientific investigation, research, and development. To ensure that consumer get value from taking out your pockets to buy food or for a service, you get value. Aside this, we are also set up to ensure that consumers in Lagos State are protected against hazardous products and, of course, against unfair trade practices. Those are the core objectives of the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. To speak to today's event, I would like to give you a brief statistic of what to showcase how important food safety is. From the World Health Organization, they said that food-borne illness can be caused by almost about 250 pathogens. So, invariably, what that means is that if food safety is not well adopted, the food is prone to cause harm. And the pathogens that are caused them is as many as 250. And also, if a pathogen infects food, there are possibilities that there can be almost 200 different types of diseases that can arise from this. So having said that, food contamination, of course, can occur along any part of the value chain, either from the farm, during transportation, during storage, or during handling. Now, the message I want to say here is that to combat the problem of food safety, we need collaboration. There should be synergy among all agencies and all stakeholders, relevant stakeholders, to be able to combat this. During the when the general manager came newly to the agency, what he did was to ensure that he paid costly visits to all the relevant agencies like NAFDAC, MAN, and all that to stimulate synergy. Because what we realize is that while trying to implement law, the laws of consumer protection agency, there's always a limitation. There's a place when you get to a certain stage, you might not be able to enforce a particular misdemeanor. So at that point, you will need the collaboration of the other relevant agencies. So that is why it's message here in this program is to, implore all the relevant agencies to ensure that there is synergy among all of us. Let us see the show of competitiveness amongst us and ensure that we have a common front so that the Ghanaians can be assured of safety food. Part of the problem we encounter during our regular is that most times the processed foods are not well registered. Some of the issues arise from post-registration issues. For instance, the process when they go to NAFDAC to do their regular registration, they go there with full documents. But after registration, what they produce is different from what was registered. So, going by this, I want to commend the association for coming up with this laudable idea. And everybody is in anticipatory mode. I want to see how they will kick in into this program. I want to feel the impact of the association. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the goodwill message. Okay, without wasting our time, we want to go into the presentation for today. May I please request that Dr. Nureni Babatunde Opale be outstanding as we take his brief profile. His lengthy profile. All right. So we have to cut short the goodwill messages after the presentation. We have about 3 more goodwill messages. So the people will come up, like CCR Penny, FCCPC, the caterers, and 1 or 2 more goodwill messages. All right. Nureni Opale poses. Brief profile of Dr. Nureni Babatunde Opale. He possesses a Bachelor of Science BSc Honors with second class upper division in microbiology and a Masters of Business Administration MBA, both from the prestigious University of Lagos. He is also a fellow of Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology NIST, Nigerian Society for Microbiology NSM, amongst others. Dr. Nureni Opaleye has worked in several multinational companies, including Sterling Health PLC, SmithKline Beecham PLC. He joined Nigerian Bottling Company, authorized bottler of Coca-Cola NBC in February 2003 as Plant Process Systems Manager from Tantalizers PLC, from where he was head of quality and development, having pioneered the quality department in the company. He was later appointed Region Process Systems Manager, entire North, in June 2006, in charge of the Coca-Cola Management System, CCCMC implementation in 5 plants in Abuja, Kaduna, Chalawa, Jos, and Maiduguri plants. He worked with the plant teams to deliver the first ever MBC CCCM Q3 certification in Chalawa plant, Kano State. All plants in the North region also got the ISO 9001-2000 certification. With strong passion for success, Maiduguri plant also recorded the first ever CCCMC environmental certification E3, having passed Q3 FAC PSET earlier. He also built the solid structures which culminated in Abuja plant, recording Evolution 3 E3 certification, having passed the audit making in the first plant to achieve such a feat in MBC. Dr. Nureni was an outstanding youth corporal during his NYSC service year, having been awarded the NYSC State Merit Award during his service year in Kaduna State. He has attended many training programs, including ISO 9001-2000 lead authors and OHSES 18001, Occupational Health and Safety Assessment Series, Food Safety Management Training, FSMS lead auditors trainings, leading and managing people of the Lagos Business School, LBS. He's also a certified COBRA, that's Business Performance Management System trainer for the Coca-Cola Company. He has trained over 400 managers of the company. A round of applause for him, please. 400 managers. Dr. Nureni Opaleye is a member of Nigerian National Codex Committee, NCC, where issues of formulation of policies and programs on quality, safety, and standards are formulated for the Nigerian nation. And also a Nigerian representative delegate to the International Codex Alimentarius Committee of Food Hygiene, CCFH, a global food safety body of standardization of food safety, with representatives from over 55 countries of the world. Dr. Nureni Opaleye recently bagged a doctorate degree, DSc honoris causa, in entrepreneurship and strategic management from the European American University, where he has made a successful dissertation as approved by the University Senate. Dr. Nureni Opaleye is a team player and loves making structural and developmental progress where he operates. He is happily married and also a grandfather. With a round of applause, I welcome to the podium Dr. Nureni Opaleye to give us his presentation. You're welcome, sir.
What to say about what has been said about me, but I just want to say thank you so much for that profile that you have read. And also, I don't know whose apology I need to give, because all the speakers have said I give apology for my commissioner, for my counsel, but since I cannot apologize for anybody, I apologize for myself. But for being here. While standing on the existing protocol, it gives me great pleasure to be in your midst this morning, and it's already afternoon. And to also congratulate the organizers of this wonderful initiative, which to me is one of our greatest contribution to the development of our great country, Nigeria, in compliance with the direction of the new government that is trying to position the country. Whatever we're able to do in our own little sphere will be also recorded in our good name in the future. This morning, I intend to just give us an overview of what each and every one of us has to do in the attainment of food safety and improved nutrition. Now, before I say something on this, I recall when the chairman was speaking, he said a food cannot be nutritious if it's not safe or if it's unsafe. Because when a food is nutritious and at the end of the day, it causes harm, can you actually say such a food is nutritious? So food safety is actually a pilot to achievement of nutritious food. Now, my presentation this morning would center around a few subjects. First, we will define what food safety actually means. Some of us just pronounce food safety. We really don't understand, or we don't even know what food safety actually represents. Then I'll just give you a brief understanding of where food safety is coming from, how it actually evolved. Now, because in the past, when we started the journey of quality development, issues of food safety were not on the front burner. What you have is you are doing quality control, you are doing quality assurance, you are doing quality compliance, you are doing all of those things. But with the advent of time, people began to see the need to actually focus on the safety of the food that we are actually consuming. Now, because when you are developing a product, it is assumed that you will have built the product to actually have all the quality parameters and all the features, because the definition of quality is actually, in simple terms, fitness for what? For purpose. That's just a simple definition. Now, what purpose will a quality food serve if it is unsafe? That was not actually called out at the journey of quality development. So most recently, nobody is talking about quality anymore. What people are talking about is food safety, because just like our friend from Lagos State Safety Commission said, when people want to register their product, they put all kinds of effort to make sure that it's registered. And then going forward from there, when they start commercializing, then you got to see another thing. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk majorly about the most important driver of food safety, and that is personal hygiene. Now, one of the things that God Almighty Himself, who is a food safety expert and trainer of mankind, has done to the entire world was the gift of COVID. Yeah, that is the truth. This was something that affected every living soul on the planet of the earth at the same time. And particularly for us in the developing countries, in the developing world. We didn't know that we were not aware, or we were all illiterate about washing of hands. Almost every one of us became an expert in personal sanitation. If that is the only training and learning that COVID brought for us, I think we need to be grateful to Almighty God. Because almost everywhere you go to, you will see a washing hand basin. People that never used to care about water, they make sure provision of water is always guaranteed. Because, and even some companies that were actually producing detergent, hand wash, that was their booming period. Sanitizers and all the likes. But like human beings that we are, as soon as problems are solved, many people retract back into go to all those places now. Everything has gone back to normal. But again, God is telling us that don't leave that practice that you have actually imbibed. cholera setting. And again, some of us now are running because all of these things has to do with our personal hygiene. And if all of us in this room take the message and preach that key learning that we are taking from the COVID era, we will have solved 50% of our food safety problem. Because where does all of these things that causes harm and illnesses to people that consume food, where does it come from? It's majorly from poor hygiene practices and poor housekeeping. So I will talk generally about hygiene and housekeeping, and I will give us just a short understanding of HACCP. Now, in organizations, manufacturing organizations or production organizations that wants to actually focus on the issues of food safety, one of the things they need to do majorly is, first of all, to preach and implement to the fullest level principles of hygiene and housekeeping. And that can now dovetail into what we call good manufacturing practice, which is like the entire house of hygiene and housekeeping. Because, I mean, you cannot be talking about good manufacturing practices where you have not implemented good hygiene practice and good housekeeping. Now, having had all of this, and you say you want to have a sustainable food safety practice, then you need to bring forth the concept of HACCP, hazard analysis. We'll talk briefly about that, and then we'll look at the principles, and then I will end the presentation. I intend to make the presentation in less than 30 minutes so that I can jump some questions. Now, what does food safety mean to all of us? Food safety refers to the conditions and practices that preserve the quality of food to prevent contamination and foodborne illnesses. Because as I mentioned, the quality of the former food, now we are bringing up the issue of food safety, which is also an opposite of quality, which was subdued by quality before. But now it is coming to the fore. That's why a lot of people are. Now there are 4 types of food safety hazards that can occur in food. These are first, the biological. Second is the chemical, which we have all talked about, use of different kinds of insecticides and pesticides that are not supposed to be in food. Then you also have the physical and lastly, which many people have overlooked, the allergenic. This, yes, the allergenic hazard. What most people do not understand is when you are implementing and practicing food safety, particularly in an organization like the manufacturing. The concept of HACCP has come to teach us. I don't know whether my voice is even audible enough. Yeah? To focus on allergy. Because there are quite a number of people that do not know their own natural composition and natural composition. Natural composition to the extent that what they are ordinarily not supposed to consume, they consume it inadvertently. And so, in the implementation of toxin, we need to now focus on those groups of fish. As an example, there are some groups of human beings who cannot, for example, metabolize milk and milk products. I'm sure we are aware of this. Those are people that we call lactose intolerant people. And so, in the implementation of food safety for a packaged or a manufactured food product that contains such things, the concept and the principle of HACCP tells you that you must call it out in your packaging so that those kind of people will not suffer what we call unsafe food at the end of the day. Because when somebody knows that this product contains something that is going to be harmful to me in terms of the allergy, you might have taken all the precautions in terms of the biological, chemical, and physical. What about those things that it contains, that part of the ingredients that are supposed to now cause harm to certain groups of people? Have you identified those? That's one. Secondly, there are also some people that cannot metabolize products that contain phenylalanine. Are we aware of that before? These people are called phenylketonuria. If you have a product that contains aspartame or phenyl-containing compounds, you are supposed to put it on your packaging so that those people, some people, when they consume products such as that contains phenyl ketones and all that, their skin begins to peel. And then after running to the hospital, not knowing that they have actually consumed a product that is causing them that kind of damage. So, HACCP has come to tell us that you must be able to call that out. Those are the things we call allergy. Now, there's a gentleman who is called Louis Pasteur. He was the one that actually gave us an insight into the concept of food safety. He's a microbiologist, he's a chemist, he's a scientist who was actually working on some products at that time, and he was what actually gave rise to the issue of what we call pasteurization. So he was actually the first person that gave us an insight into issues of food safety. Now let's take a brief look at hygiene in production. When you see some companies and you get to their premises or to get their reception or wherever or their production hall, all you see is basically quality statements. But in today's world, most companies that are now going into the implementation of food safety practices have changed all of that. Such statements that you will see will include, we are committed to selling the highest quality of products. This means we must ensure the products are of the right quality, always so that it's available to our consumers and all of that. There's no specific mention of food safety. But all that has changed now with the focus that we're putting on food safety. They say, at the end of the day, they say product quality assurance is our responsibility. You know, several years ago, over 30 years ago, when I started my journey and my career in quality, they have always been mentioning when we have training for either production people or supply chain people, when you bring them to the class and say, who is responsible for quality? They say everybody. And at the end of the day, I came to tell them, I said, are you really sure it's everybody's responsibility? They say, yes. Tell me what your roles are in the attainment of quality of the product we're producing here. They are blank. This is the thing. Here we are talking about everybody here is going to be responsible for food safety. Do we really understand our specific roles in our various spheres? Because each and every one of us has one or two roles that we can play in our own way in the attainment of the ultimate food safety that we are driving. And we need to be conscious of that. And we need to know that. That was what was missing in the area of the quality. And when there is a simple problem or small issue like this, the next thing is go to quality department. Is their problem? Is their sheet? Let them carry it. But yes, when I was in the Coca-Cola system, I fought a battle when we were always dealing with consumer complaints. I fought a very serious battle and I told them, for every consumer complaint that we're going to resolve, the production manager must be the one that should go. He produced the product. He also said that he's responsible for quality. So why is he producing substandard product? Why is it the quality people have tested, they have certified all that they need to do, they have done all the due diligence and release the product. But why should it be the quality manager that should be going to face the consumer and sometimes very angry, irate consumers? We have had a situation where a consumer, a complainant, almost pour an acid on the quality manager that went there. It's as bad as that. So let the people who claim they are part of the journey, let them also face it. It succeeded for some time and thereabout, but later, what actually eventually happened was they now started giving them some quality objectives in their annual objective setting. But again, what was the percentage they gave them? Maybe 5%. Some of them will say, as soon as I meet my production volume, my yield, and all of that, I can do away with 5%. But you see, the point I'm making is that when you say something is everybody's responsibility, that responsibility must be what? Shared equally by everybody. So that was the way quality was being handled at that time. Now, when we're talking about personal hygiene, when you get to some organizations, the kind of apparel that you are supposed to wear in a particular aspect of that operation is different from what you wear in the other ones. And these are some of the ways by which we can actually enhance personal hygiene. I take you back in time to when we were growing up. When we were in primary schools, every Monday, you have to stretch your hands like this. I don't think that is happening anymore. If your nails are not well cut, if your hair are protruding and doing all kinds of things, you know that you will not get home happy. Sorry? Some will even not even that, some people will even go and bring police to come and arrest you. So these are some of the areas where we are lacking. And I'm going to get to that when we start talking about the recommendation. So if you are talking about personal hygiene, it actually has to be internalized and practiced. Right from the apparel that you wear in areas where you are either producing, manufacturing, distributing, or selling food, to make sure that whatever you are wearing does not become a source of contamination to the product. Again, as part of personal hygiene, in some organizations, the rules of the game is once you have a particular type of illness, you stay off work. How many of us actually implement this in our little sphere, in our little area? Some of us, even in our domestic, in our home, at the home, in the domestic environment, when the member of our family is sick to an extent in terms of one or two illness that can actually be spread, we don't take that kind of care to ensure that, hey, don't get near our kitchen, don't get near where we're serving food, don't get near such that there's no cross contamination. Those are like we're not taking that. We don't need any government, we don't need anybody to come and tell us that. We need to internalize it and make sure that people understand and they act responsibly. So that's talking about personal hygiene. Keep talking about personal hygiene. You will see that in some organizations, like I said, the kind of apparel that they give to their staff. When I was in selling health, because they know the overalls that they give to you, that you have to take home and go and wash and all of that. They give you soap, sometimes they give you money and add it part of your salary such that you are able to use it to do all the kind of cleaning that is necessary. What they discover is on a Monday morning, you will see some people that the clothes will be worse than the way they took it home. So what the organization did was they set up a laundry department. Submit it. Don't worry, we'll take the burden off you. So these are ways by which you can enhance personal hygiene in an organization that is trying to implement the concept of food safety. Are we together? So again, illnesses and injuries within organizations open vision National Health and Safety Assessment, where they are now giving targets and metrics to mention how many people are sick, how many people got injured, how many people have accidents within the organization. It's now reported as a metric and it's being measured. So, if people that are sick and they are found within the organization, it counts against that particular department. So, people now have officers within many multinational organizations that are responsible for organizational safety, not food safety, organizational safety, to look at those elements that actually could cause illnesses, such situations that can actually predispose people to having accidents. So even if you have an accident outside and you try to sneak yourself into the organization, because some people that are termed employees, you know what I mean by termed employees? Those are those people that are casual workers that are paid on daily basis. Because when they don't work in a day, but if they are discovered within the system, the head of that department will suffer for it. Because these are areas by which you actually want to actually ensure that unsafe practices does not exist within the organization that can endanger the production that is being embarked upon. So, when we're talking about hygiene in production, it's quite a lot, and I can later share this presentation. It goes beyond all of this. There must be regular provisions of the required, what we call PPEs, personnel protective equipment, and there must be enforcement. When you say, if you want them to enter into this production hall, these are the various PPEs that you must put on. In some areas where people actually have direct contact with the product and the production, it becomes mandatory for them to do what? To wear hand gloves. And if you say people should wear hand gloves and you don't provide it for them, what do you expect them to do? So you must provide it and you must enforce. Anybody that goes into such an environment without putting the required PPE that has been provided, that you don't on, they must be sanctioned. It must not be overlooked. Because one, like I've always said, one single person can take the job of multitude of people. Sorry. It can take the job of everybody. And that's why I always say that this job that each and every one of you have, when I conduct trainings in production environment or in manufacturing environment, this job that you have, you need to treasure it because there are 1,001 people waiting to take the job from you. So if you allow the job to go, or you want to do the job, but if by your action or your inaction decide to let this job go, God will not forgive you, and all of us will not forgive. How do you make all of us to lose the job? If somebody is supposed to do something and refuses to do it, or directly does a negative thing to affect the operation of the man, and eventually, you know how you make us to lose the job. When there's no sales, what happens? The organization will start to downsize. Gradually, the market is lost. And in marketing, you know what they say. When one dissatisfied person buys a product that is dissatisfied, it tells another 9 people. Those 9 people, you never can be too sure. One of them can also tell another 9 people. And you know, in marketing, a market that is lost will take you 10 times the energy to get it back. And these days, that people already have alternatives. They have options. Your own. So it's better for you to make sure that you do the right thing and be proactive, such that you don't have the cost to do all of this. Now, in organizations also, even in our daily dealings in our various homes, we need to be mindful of areas where microorganisms can be hidden, where contamination can actually exist. For example, if you are using a container to prepare a particular type of food, you need to make sure that, and you need to make sure and ensure that that container does not have areas where we call crevices, where cleaning cannot actually get to. Because some people can just wash and then you forgot that there are edges and all of those areas where microorganisms keep building up. And one of the greatest danger in life is to allow microbes to proliferate. The moment they start growing and they become so widespread, you will spend times 10 of the effort that you will have spent in making sure that that situation does not even occur at all, to actually get rid of them. And God helps you. If one or two escape, it becomes another for you. So in organizations, what we always do is that we make sure that all manufacturing equipment, all production equipment, especially product contacting equipment, that is product equipment that makes direct contact with the product, are designed in such a way that it becomes easily what? Cleanable. Because if you don't do that, at the end of the day, you might think you are doing actual cleaning. In actual fact, you are actually building a house for the contaminants. That's in terms of the microbes and all of that. So I have a couple of different designs of things that can be done here. And so you need to take care of that. And also, when you have a design equipment that you are using in the manufacture of a food product, you need to ensure that the type of cleaning that is applicable to that equipment is clearly implemented. And how would you get it implemented? You need to know how and what the recommended cleaning procedure and chemicals required for it. Don't improvise. The manufacturer will have actually determined the kind of danger that equipment can protect, and will have also profiled the recommended cleaning procedure. You must implement it. And in implementing the cleaning of such equipment, you must also try and find out how to validate it. Are we together? It's not just enough to clean, but you must determine the effectiveness of that cleaning. So there are two things you do. The first thing, making sure that you do all that you need to do. Then secondly, you need to also validate your effectiveness of the cleaning. So these equipment are such that when you are importing or you are manufacturing or you are designing an equipment, you have to take into consideration how can this equipment be properly cleaned such that it does not become a habitat for contaminant, microbial contaminant. Let's talk briefly about manufacturing because, like I said, it's actually the housing for hygiene and housekeeping. Now, when you're talking about food manufacturing practice, all of these things that we have said, hygiene, housekeeping, and all of this, you know, one of the things that, because of my experience that I've also implemented, in my house, I have done what we call checklist. It's not just in the industry. We have to internalize and practice whatever you are also taught or you know or you understand. So I designed checklists for different areas of the house. This checklist is hung in a conspicuous place such that it doesn't have to be as regular as you do it in the office or in the organization. But as you are passing by, there are some things that you actually can look at and find out whether the environment has been kept clean the way you have actually positioned it. So in GMP, you need to have what we call a systematized procedure that you have validated both for housekeeping and both for hygiene practices, that you will have developed such that everybody will be able to do the same thing the same way. Are we together? So that's where it becomes now a complete package for anybody to actually say you have a sustainable food manufacturing practice. And like I did mention, if you at the end of the day want to implement what we call food safety management system, which we call FSMS, food safety what? Management system. You must have what we call the prerequisite program, housekeeping and hygiene practices, which dovetails into what? GMP. And you must also have a visible HACCP program in place. This HACCP program is what we actually call out all the concepts, all the principles, all the ideas, all the ideals that are related to the implementation of food safety along the line of the building blocks, hygiene and housekeeping that you have also heard. You cannot say you want to implement a HACCP program, or you cannot say you want to implement food safety management system without having a sustainable hygiene and housekeeping practice. Because why? You cannot build something on nothing. You cannot. For example, you cannot have people who come to your manufacturing environment with their bathroom slippers. The slippers that have been used to walk all the streets of Oshodi. It brings it into the manufacturer where you are producing, for example, cheese. That is already a recipe for disaster. So you need to have all of these things clearly defined. The housekeeping must be robust. The hygiene practice must be top notch. And on top of that, you now have to call out all the various aspects that food safety actually requires. And that is by the implementation of what we call HACCP. So having a good and sustainable good manufacturing practice that is built on a sustainable hygiene and housekeeping practice and implementing a full HACCP program will give you an opportunity of implementing what we call FSMS, Food Safety Management System. Now let's briefly talk about HACCP. And I'm quite sure a number of us here will have actually had at some point in time about HACCP. Now, what does HACCP implement? Now, it's not a new concept, like I said. All that we are trying to do here is put our thoughts together, is trying to put all together and find a sustainable way of implementing them. Like when a presentation was going on or goodwill message was going on in the morning, something was said about having hygiene police or food safety police. In the past, we have had people called Wole Wole. Are we together? And these people were doing a wonderful job, although there were some overzealous ones. Yes. For example, somebody coming to see your pot of soup and seeing so many meat there, and deciding, if you don't want me to catch you. Meanwhile, there is no infraction that has been actually committed. But here is somebody who is also coming with a lot of hunger in his stomach and seeing you with so much amount of meat. So those are some of the things. But there is no system that will not find or that will not have its own Judas. But you don't take a baby and the bathwater and throw them away. You separate the two of them. So if there are bad ones, just like there will always be, just like there are also a lot of bad ones, even in the so-called developed world, but that does not mean that you should jettison the entire system and overlook the benefit that they are carrying. What we were doing at that time is what we are struggling to actually come back to now with all of these efforts. Because, if you know the kind of practices that people engage in that can be very injurious to even their own families inadvertently, but because of the love of this naira, this devalued naira, because of the love of it, they can do anything. But at the end of the day, I will also tell the APFSAN some of the things that you also need to do as joining on this your very important and laudable program. So on HACCP, just very briefly, HACCP is not a new law. It's focused on preventative, not reactive. Like I said, when you are designing the process of implementing HACCP, you are only trying to actually call out those specific areas of your operation that has bearing on safety of whatever you are producing, and then you are trying to put it on the front burner by implementing HACCP. So it's focusing on preventative, not reactive. It's actually a system for food safety implementation. Now, you also have what we call, it's not a zero risk. HACCP will only help you to reduce or mitigate the hazards, but you can't have it totally eliminated, and you will see in the various principles that we'll just share briefly with you. Because when you talk about determining a hazard that exists within your production or your manufacturing facility, as the case may be, you will only be focusing with the implementation of HACCP. You will only be focusing on mitigating and reducing it to the barest acceptable limit. But for you to say that you want to make it a zero, then you are just light years away. Because you can't actually eliminate everything, but you can mitigate and reduce it to the barest minimum. Okay? So that's what you need to do with HACCP. Full implementation of HACCP. Okay? It's designed, as I said, to minimize its impact. Now, what are the various steps involved in implementation? HACCP contains what we refer to as 7 principles. But in the true picture of implementing HACCP, you need to go through about 14 to 15 steps. But the principle that you are going to be implementing are basically how many? 7 principles. 7 principles are what you are going to be implementing when you want to implement HACCP or the production environment. Now, the first and the most critical one latches on the first 6 steps, which does not correlate to any of the principles. The first 6 steps involve, first of all, in an organization, it will say no matter how small your organization is, whether it's micro, medium, or mega, and you say you want to actually focus on issues of food safety, having implemented very robust and strong hygiene and housekeeping practices. Now you want to take to the next step by implementing the concept and principle of HACCP. You need to have what we call a food safety policy. Remember, since morning I was telling you about a quality policy, which subsumes safety. Now we're taking safety out of quality and then putting it on the front burner. So the first and major step in the implementation of HACCP within any facility is you must have a commitment. If you are the CEO of that organization, you must be the one that will sign that commitment. You cannot delegate that commitment. The reason is very clear, is because when you look at some organizations, after saying, okay, we are committed to something, when it gets to the state of providing resources to the implementation of that thing, it becomes we don't have money. Are we together? So that is why you need the topmost person within the organization to sign the policy. The policy must be signed by who? The topmost person within the organization. That's the starting point. The second one is that you need to have an assemblage of people within the organization. If you're talking about a manufacturing environment now that has quite a few number of people and you have different departments, you need to set up a team. Okay? You set up a team, and this team is called the HACCP team. The team must also be headed by a team leader. The reason is because in my real life experience of implementing HACCP, when the team starts to work on the development of a HACCP plan, when the team starts to work on the development of the HACCP program, there is always a lot of argument back and forth. This is just to give you an overview of what food safety and nutrition actually entails. It's really not a training class. If it were to be a training class, you will get to understand how a HACCP team actually works. Because somebody will say, this the way I perceive it. Another person will say this is the way. And all of you will agree. Because you are all working towards what? The same objective. And usually, in real life implementation of HSCCP, within an organization, there is always a lot of series of meetings that always end up in disagreement. And you must always disagree in order to agree at the end of the day. Based on the fact that whoever provides the most superior and scientific justification is what we want, is the person that will win at the end of the day. This is not a matter of intuition, or this is not a matter of we go to the same church, or we worship in the same mosque. It is based, it is scientifically what? Based. It is science. So whoever provides the right information that can be justified is what we, at the end of the day, hold water. So when you set up this team and you appoint a team leader, you also give that team leader all the powers and responsibility to pilot the team. And usually we are always asking that in an organization that wants to implement HACCP, whoever is going to be the team leader leading the HACCP team must be a management member. You don't just set up the team now and just go and put a cover or put somebody who cannot even get up to the end. But the reason why we're saying you should be a management person is that the management, top management, has already committed in writing. Is that not correct? He has written a policy and signed it. So whenever the HACCP team requires anything that will drive the implementation of the food safety, he will be able to actually reach management and say, these principles that we have all signed to implement, these and these and these are the things that we require. And the manager will be able to listen to such a person than somebody who is actually at the shop floor. Now, this team will also do something that is very important. What they need to do is they need to take the product, looking at all the various ingredients that make up the product, looking at all the production processes that are involved in the production and manufacture of that product. They need to put them down in writing, either in the form of a flowchart or in form of pure writing to ensure that anybody who reads it will be able to understand how this product is manufactured. These are all elements of what will be at the end of the day in your entire portfolio of asset plan. In other words, all of these things that I'm describing for you must be written and documented. Because at the end of the day, if anybody, for example, a third party wants to actually verify that you are implementing a HACCP plan, those are the things that you will show, including minutes of your meeting, list of the members and everything, the management commitment, everything will be there. So, after describing the product, what next is the manufacturing stages involved in the manufacture of that product. Just as we're talking about HACCP now, just as we're talking about food safety now, the stages involved in a service restaurant, for example, a quick service restaurant that is actually distributing products that will be consumed by people. You need, and you are implementing HACCP, you need to describe the stages involved when the food is produced from the kitchen, how it is stored, how it is put on the front office for distribution, how the people who are actually serving it are serving it. All of these things must be clearly defined in a flow chart. Let me tell you why. The reason is because when you are implementing the other 6 principles of HACCP, remember I told you all of these first 6 steps does not refer to anything about the principles of HACCP. They are like what I told you about hygiene and housekeeping, where you actually want to say you want to go into ensuring that whatever you are producing is safe for human consumption. You need to have a robust hygiene and housekeeping. This is the same way you need to ensure that you have a sustainable program in place to implement the 7 principles of HACCP. So all of these things that you are doing is like you are preparing the ground for the true implementation of the 7 principles of HACCP. So you go and then you draw the flow chart, and then you is process driven. Are we together? The process that leads to the manufacture of the product is actually what APFSAN focuses on. The process that leads to the manufacture of the product is where the introduction of biological, physical, and chemical contaminants can occur. So you need to understand those processes and the process stages very well before you can actually begin to implement the 7 principles. Now, having done all of that, online verification of your flowchart, you need to also ensure that you now do what we call hazard identification. For each of those processes that you have identified, you need to what? Identify for each of them. You need to define each of the stages, each of the process steps involved in the manufacture of the product. Because at the end of the day, you are going to take each step and then list out all the possible hazards that can happen at that step, both biological, physical, and chemical. Now, in the case of allergy, allergy will have been taken care of in the development, in the manufacture of the formulation of the product. Peradventure, if whatever is allergenic to some people is incorporated into the product, in the description of the product, during the first 6 stages, you would have described this product contains aspartame. So to that extent, people who are actually phenylketonuria cannot take it. That is already described in the preparatory step. So in the listing of the hazard, you cannot be listing one hazard repeatedly. The hazard that is allergenic will be one in the product. Is that not correct? So that will only be in the description of the product ab initio before you actually go into it. So the first principle of HACCP is you list all the hazards at each of the stages. The second principle is this is why you're running fast. This is because you gave me 3 minutes. Let me just knock this in very well. The second principle is you determine what we call the CCPs. What do you mean by CCP? The critical control points. Now, this is another area where a HACCP team will normally disagree. And for the people that actually develop this concept and principle, in order to make it easier for the implementation of food safety, they have developed what we call a decision tree. Are we together? A decision tree, which will enable you to actually, I told you it's scientific. This is not something that you just come out of the blues and say, no, this place will be a CCP. In my real life practice of the development of HACCP for organizations, you go to some organizations and the kind of CCPs that you see there. For example, if you go to an organization and you find 10 or 20 CCPs, what will you do? Will you buy such a product? It means that they don't have systems. Because in the development of CCP, the definition of CCP, like I told you, this is not a full deck training class. What is referred to as a CCP is actually a step at which no control can happen again in the processing step. So these people, when they develop their CCP, this one, there can be chemical contaminant, CCP. This one. Even when in the further stages, these things can actually be addressed. So the decision tree will help you to be able to actually arrive at the right CCP. Then next to that, you establish what you call a critical limit. I told you, acid is not zero, it's to minimize and mitigate food safety hazards. Then you establish what we call the monitoring system. These are the steps and the principles that are involved in the implementation of food safety. Then the next principle is you establish corrective action. Peradventure, there is something that actually happens in a particular processing step that makes sure that you are over and above the critical control limit. then there must be a step that you will have to take to address it before the product is actually out. Then you establish what we call verification system. When you establish a verification system, usually when you first introduce a HACCP program, that's where you actually do a verification. Then finally, you do what we call a validation. Validation is such that at a periodic interval, you really want to see whether what you have set out at initial is what you are actually doing. Like some of you are already aware of what we call audit. So you need to have a system whereby you can actually audit the process. And finally, all of these things that I just told you need to have records and documentation for everything. That's the last principle. Now, very quickly, let's go to what I call my recommendation. First, my recommendation to this very important August team that is going to be inaugurated is over and above the focus that you have on Tuesday. I want to urge you to add on to whatever you're going to be doing on Tuesday, issues of food fraud. Are we together? Because food fraud is becoming a major global concern to everybody. And I can assure you, I can tell you that whatever fraud people are committing with respect to food is also what we can refer to as issue of concern on food safety. So, keep an eye also on areas where you discover that there are a lot of fraud going on that can actually have bearing on food safety. That's one. Secondly, you need, for example, some of us that have micro or medium scale industries, we need to identify each and every member of our team that has one role or the other in the attainment of ultimate food safety of our products, such that whatever nutritional value that that product is meant to serve will be what achieved. So we need to identify that. Now, over and above identifying that, please keep in mind that you need to provide adequate resources, and then you need to provide what is most important, training for people to understand what their roles are in those specific areas. The next recommendation I have here is everyone involved in the processing of food should comply with what? The mandatory requirements of personnel hygiene and good housekeeping. Like I said, you need to provide the resources. You don't say somebody should not wear bedroom slippers, and you cannot provide the person with clean and acceptable footwear. Are we together? Don't be mindful. Don't look at the cost of whatever resources that you're going to be providing. Look at the ultimate benefit, which is the human life that you are trying to actually preserve and your ultimate business that you are also trying to sustain. Because there's no use providing something that is of no benefit to you. That's what every manufacturer, every producer will always say. So make sure that the resources that are required for the people to actually implement issues of food safety along the line of your operation have adequate support. The second to the final one is there must be a system of monitoring, compliance, and planning for corrective action. Again, they say if you don't train them, don't blame them. Yes? You don't train somebody, you can't blame them. So, if you have provided the required PPEs for people to actually implement whatever you have actually recommended at each of the processing stages, and they are not complying with it, there must be what? Sanctions. If they know, Oga will not do anything for us. Oga will not do anything if he doesn't find, if he finds that and I'm not implementing this, I'm the best staff. Don't have anybody that is the best staff within the system. Treat everybody equally so that if there is any infraction, the applicable sanctions will what? Will be applied. So that there will be equity along the line. Lastly, for nutritious food, I've always said it. Just like the chairman mentioned, you cannot say a food is nutritious when it is harmful. We know very well that the challenges of the time apparently will make each and every one of us eating nutritious food to be a challenge because of the economy. Yes. That's why you have organizations such as Games and the likes trying to see what we can do in terms of fortification. Of course, they know that there's no amount of poverty that can worry anybody. You will certainly eat salt. Is that not correct? So they are working on making sure that at least some of the basic nutrients that we require are implemented or incorporated into those common things. You know, in the elementary school, we need to talk about LCM, least common factor. So salt is one of the least common factors to all of us. Another one is sugar. They know that, oils, flours, and all of those things. Those are things that are relatively common to everybody. So they are doing a lot in terms of fortifying. But in terms of eating high nutritious food, this has been something that for me, as a person, has been a lot of things that has been on the top shelf. And we need to find a way to ensure that we promote nutritious food for our people. However, the limiting factor is the economy. But most recently, the world celebrated World Breastfeeding. Is that not correct? Now, you and I will agree that the best form of nutrients that the future generation can get is through the breast milk. If for that alone, if that is the only way we can actually promote nutrition within our environment, for example, for the future generations, let us all at every point in time do whatever we can to promote the concept of breastfeeding. Because that is the only way we can have a sustainable future generation that can succeed us. This generation that are cow milk children, I'm sorry for all of us. I am telling you, the hospitals are no longer there. Most of the hospitals have become mobs. God helps each and every one of us not to be sick. You will understand what is called good health that God has given us. So, ladies and gentlemen, nutrition is very good, but let's start it from the scratch. Promote good health, good nutrition for our babies that will succeed us in the future. And my challenge to all of you young ladies here, do not bother about us men looking at whether your bobby will be flat or not. Give our children breast milk. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. If you don't train them, don't blame them. So we are here today for training, and this is the beginning of the training. We know we have so many various stakeholders in this place, and that's why the theme is role of various stakeholders in achieving food safety and improved nutrition in Nigeria. I'm interested to know the list that you have at home. I maybe I'll meet you later to know the list that you have at home. Now, before we take any question, I wouldn't know if the chairman wants to say one or two things just in form of wrapping up what has been said. Thank you, sir.
Stop to round up. So they have said a lot of things which are very it's everybody's responsibility. The transporter that were used to carry animals, to carry fresh fruits and vegetables. Everybody have what? Responsibility. The input providers, they have responsibility in food safety. The gardener has responsibility for food safety. Everyone, the media, like I said, the media have responsibility. They should not provide wrong information to the public. They should provide the correct information to the public. The government have responsibility to set the policies and the regulations and make sure they are what? Implemented. The consumer has a responsibility to demand for safe food. Access to safe nutritious food is a human right. You have the right to demand. The vendors have responsibility to sell what is safe. Everybody. So all he has said in a factory, from the gate man, from the security man, to the HRO, to engineering, to production, to sales, to marketing, every department, to the legal team, everyone has what? Responsibility for food safety. And all the stakeholders must play their role. The hotels, Horeca, hotels, restaurants, and caterers have responsibility for what? For food safety. So it's a wide range of stakeholder responsibility. And if anyone defaults, it's going to impact on the chain, on the supply chain, from farm to table or fork. The Oyinbo use fork because they use fork to eat. Our own we use hand. From farm to what? From farm to what? Okay. So that is the truth. So I want us to go home with that sense of responsibility that and let me also say, housewives have what? And husbands has what? Wife has what? Children have what? Responsibility. The community has what? Hospitals have what? Restaurants have what? Responsibility. All the stakeholders, we must perform, we must take our responsibilities very, very, very serious. Where we are using here, this building has what? Responsibility for food safety. So I want to thank Dr. Noreni, and once again we appreciate Zach for setting this up. So we'll go home with that answer. I'm responsible for food safety, not only the other person. So can we say together, I'm responsible for food safety. What I do will affect me, my family, my neighbors, my community, my state, my local government, the federal government, Africa, and the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Okay. All right. So the role of food safety and actually improve nutrition is the role of everyone. And thank God we have various stakeholders here. So the question we should ask ourselves, Ministry of Health, what is our role? Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Safety Commission, LASCOPA, LOMA, NAFDAC, Mile 12 International Market, what is your role? Farmers, what are our roles? So we should go, Ministry of Education, okay, what is our role? We even say transporters, each and every one of us, we have our roles to play. Does anybody have any question? You have any question at all? Whoa. We have two. Okay, are you raising your hand? Okay, so we have three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, before we take the questions, okay, before we take the questions, we would like we have a representative from Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission from Abuja, and we would like the person to come and say 1 or 2 things about what has been said today, and to give us a video message. So in 1 minute, please, in 1 minute, Mrs. Blessing Rufai. Mrs. Blessing Rufai. Okay, a round of applause as she comes, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone. I bring greetings from my Executive Vice Chairman, Mr. Tunde Bello. I'm from FCCPC. What I would like to say, since she said I should just do a brief. When our core mandate at FCCPC, we protect and promote the interests and welfare of consumers by providing them with wide variety of quality products at competitive prices and ensuring the adoption of measures to guarantee that goods and services are safe for intended or normally safe use. We also initiate broad-based policies and review economic activities in Nigeria to identify and prohibit anti-competitive and restrictive practices that may distort competition or constitute an abuse of a dominant position of market power. That's our core mandate. And what are the things FCCPC does that we can say we do for food safety? You know, we enforce consumer rights. Because of time, I might not be able to talk about that. Every consumer has a right. So we enforce consumer rights, right to safe food. Then we monitor, we carry out monitoring and surveillance. We have this visitation, inspection visits to manufacturers of products and services. We look at their their manufacturing, having quality, and then we carry out effective monitoring, regulating food labeling. This one is very important, so that when you pick up a pack of any food item, you can read through and you are sure what you're taking in. Then we carry out consumer education, public awareness campaigns. We even have what we call the Young Consumer Club in secondary schools. And then we have legal action and enforcement, where we carry out enforcement on those that are erring. And then we have penalties and recall, litigation support. We even find companies, as the case may be. So I would like us, from what they have said, I would like to add that food safety starts with you and with me. Whatever you do, whatever I do has a ripple effect. So we should not just throw our face. When we see something wrong going on, we should not just look the other way and believe that it's none of our business. Don't forget, you might have a brother, a sister, a cousin, a friend that might be affected. And also, I would like to say this to the association. For FCCPC to partner with you very well, we need you to register with us as an NGO so that we can partner with you very well. You can get the guidelines for registration with us on our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we appreciate the association will do something about that. Okay. All right. Sorry, we want to tweak the program a little bit because some of our guests they have some other meetings So we would like to go to the photo session now. We want to take the group photograph now because of some other programs that some of our guests have. So, all right, so the group photograph will be taken here. First, the people on the high table. I don't know. The photographer, please. Okay, just in front of the table. Everyone will take the photograph. The first people on the high table.
To be the best, number one, nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me to stand up for the champion, for the champion. Stand up, stand up, stand up. For the champion, for the champion, stand up. For the champion, for the champion, stand up. Stand up, stand up. For the champion, for the champion, stand
Let's go for take.
Now it's just one second. It's just like that.
Okay, all the agencies around, the entrance agencies, please let's come out. Agency, okay.
Stand up.
Do we have normal staff around? Please let's come forward, let's come and take pictures.
Stand up, stand up, for the champion, for the champion, stand up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself back up. And when I fall down, I have to pick myself up.
After that Ministry of Environment.
For the champion, for the champion, stand up. Stand up.
No man, no man. Ministry of Environment. Please let's come forward. Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health. Oh, sorry.
Stand up. For the champion, for the champion.
Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Health. Let's take it together. Environment and health. Then after that, let's have the caterers association. Ministry of Environment and Health.
the Association of Caterers. After that, FCCPC. Do we have Ministry of Agriculture? Okay. Then after that, we take the ministers that are here. FCCPC, please come forward. Ministry of Lascopa. FCCPC, Lascopa. Ministry of Health. Please, any other agency, let's come forward, please. FCCPC. Every other agency, please, let's come forward. Okay. They are not ready. NIPS, please. NIPS. After NIPS, every other agency. Lascopa, FCCPC, after NIPS. Please, the inauguration will be done immediately after this photo shoot. Now, please, let's still stay around. Let's stay around. So we want to go to the inauguration proper. Please, can we be seated? Thank you. After this, sorry. I called and called and called. Sorry, your photo. Okay. Please, we'll still take it after. Some people want to leave. Right. So please, can we still have our seat, please? We want to do the inauguration now. We want to have the inauguration properly now. So I'll give it to the chairman, Dr. Okorua, okay, for the inauguration.
Quickly. Hello, can we be seated? This should have been done before the people. Can we, I believe that you were informed that we have a constitution and bylaws. APFSAN has a constitution and bylaws. Attention please. APFSAN has a constitution and bylaws. Legitimate constitution and bylaws. And part of stated in that bylaw is that the leadership of APFSAN in any state must be a minimum 50% female. They cannot all be men, cannot all be women. But the minimum, how many positions are you requesting for now? 5. So at least 2 of those 5 positions must be filled by women. That is the issue. So how many people have volunteered to okay. What of the 5th person? So we need to know who is presenting himself. This is purely control role. It's no single payment attached to this, no single income attached to this. In fact, you will use your personal money. So it's purely control service. I want to make this clear from day one. There's nothing attached to this role. There's nothing. Because it's enough organization. You only can make money if you do trainings and people pay for it and you get income. That's the only way you can do some activity. You don't have any subvention from anywhere. Not any subvention. Nobody provides. You need to generate your money. So that's your responsibility. I want to make this from the beginning. So these roles, there's no monthly allowance, there's no sitting allowance. Are you still interested? Are you ready to even spend your money? Yeah. So that's the truth. So who is volunteering for the state coordinator by passion? Okay, that's better. Please clap for him. Automatically, the deputy state coordinator will have to be a woman. Automatic. Yeah. Your name, please. Toluwalo Ogunleye. Toluwalope Ogunleye. Congratulations. Okay. We never vote yet, so don't be like, well, we can start it. Okay. One of the secretary, please come forward. Tell us introduce your name.
My name is Oladejo Charity.
Where do you work? I think I need to know what they do. Don't you want to know? Yeah. Please tell us. Okay, after all of them. Yeah. Where is the assistant, the deputy coordinator, secretary? Where is the treasurer? Okay, treasurer, please introduce yourself.
My name is Ogunji Akinyele. I work with the Federal Institute of Industrial Research for the Hero.
Good one.
I work with Allah Foods.
Allah Foods, great. Tantalize us.
The Food.com Academy.
Academy. You can see the diversity. Next. PRO. PRO.
My name is Emije, and I work at Charmaine Foundations. How to tell that?
It's just so that your marketing will pay for it. So, assistant secretary or which? Assistant secretary. Okay. Your name, please.
My name is Amzad Azan Tekina. I'm into event planning.
What percentage is this of women? 2/6. Is that 40? No, not up to 40. Not up to 40. Ideally, yeah, because that's what the constitution says. What percentage is that? 2/6,000, 2/6,100. It's not. It doesn't meet the requirement. It doesn't meet the requirement. So it means that you have SMT is state management team. In the constitution, it's actually 5, not 6. So the assistant can, if assistant drop, it become 1/5. So that if everything is subject to ratification or based on the situation your state is able to operate with your peculiarity. So later on, and that has to be by confirmation of the people that are seated, the members of the association. For the members of the association, you want these people as it is composed, 4 men, 2 women. Are you okay with it as is? I want to hear you. If those who say yes, say ah. Those who say no, let me hear no. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. That is stamped. That is stamped. So by virtue of this your confirmation, we hereby inaugurate the state management team of the Lagos State chapter of the Association for Promotion of Food Safety and Improved Nutrition on this day, Wednesday, 28th of August, 2024. So we congratulate you for volunteering, and we believe that with you at the helm of affairs, that the state chapter will move forward and actually be number one in the country. Why Kebbi and Sokoto State will tell you no. So you have to do something extraordinary to make sure that you overtake those who started it. But I know that Lagos will always shine. So just do your best and make sure that the full benefits reach the target beneficiary. I wish you well and God bless you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and a big congratulations to the SMT of APFSAN Lagos chapter. Like the chairman has mentioned earlier, this is purely voluntary service, and as you take on this role, it's also a role you're holding in trust. And it is our expectation that under your guidance and under your leadership, this association will grow from strength to strength, and the purpose for which it is formed will be fulfilled even beyond our expectations. So on this note, I say congratulations, and we look forward to hearing your success stories.
I want to appreciate everyone that is here today. Like the chairman and the head of policy and advocacy has just said, it's a volunteering thing. And for some of us, you know what you have been through in the last couple of days, that God believes, and that confirm that. So, but we are believing God. We are believing God that God is going to strengthen us to move from strength to strength. And we are up for the task. I'm sure of that. We are up for the task. And I know God is going to strengthen us. This is state management team. And thank God that we have all the relevant stakeholders here that we are going to engage after this occasion. And apart from the information we have here, this one that volunteer to the members, we are going to send some of this form to you, and we are going to cascade more information to you. On a regular basis, we are going to be having a lot of programs. We have seminars, we have the webinars, and when we come quarterly, that is quarterly. Then we are still going to be having one on a regular basis. We have the one full day. We have a lot of other programs that we are packaging. But we are not going to unveil everything today. There will be time. We are going to do more. And when we call on you to support us, at least, morally you are here, then we now need the financial support. Please, don't hesitate to support us when we call on you. Very bless Now, you can go to your seat. We read the thing that the some of the leaders also to say something, and Madam Syria Penny in our home. I want us to quickly say something for Madam. Give us a minute.
Ma, you can come forward, ma. She's one of the stakeholders. So she's the chairman of the Association of Caterers. So she has to speak to us. Thank you very much for the opportunity, ma. Sir. Good afternoon, everyone, once again. I really want to appreciate Mr. Razak Oke for bringing us down here. I want to say a very big thank you to you for recognizing us. Also, I want to thank the founder of the Lagos State Caterers and Decorators Association, in person of Mrs. Bolanle Amzat, Thank you very much. Well, most of the things have been said, but I will just want to say this, that we want to give this APFSAN, we want to pledge to you that we will support you fully as members of the Lagos State Caterers and Decorators Association. We will support you, we will cooperate with you in the movement of this great body. We will work with you closely to enhance safety protocols. We will continue to raise awareness, even with you, to implement the best practice of safety in the food section. Together, we will continue to uphold the reputation of Lagos State as the leader of in this section of safety. We will continue even to preach, to evangelize about safety to all our vendors, even as we work with them. We pledge today that we will continue to raise that, to tell people of the truth that this association is strictly for safety. Thank you very much. God bless you. I remain my humble self, the president of the Lagos State Caterers and Decorators, Olajumoke Ibrahim Agbelite. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence so much. Okay. Not yet, sir. A colleague is calling me, and he's ringing. Okay. All right. Mrs. Celia Penny, you are going to. Okay. Have you found it? Okay. Thank you. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Celia Penny, you are going to use one stone to kill two birds. Okay, so you give us your goodwill message, and after we take your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for still being here. I'm delighted to be speaking with you. I'm representing, my name is Celia Penny, Moses Nagiku, and I'm the president of Celia Penny Foundation, and I'm also CEO of Celia Penny Gene Nutrition Solutions. Now, Celia Penny Foundation is an NGO, and what we do actually is to educate people about making healthy food choices that are local, that are affordable, and are sustainable. So we teach people how to eat healthy, most especially to prevent premature aging. As you can see, I'm over 60, so it works. When people go to the hospital and they have cancer or diabetes and they spend all their money, at the end of the day, they are sent to us, NGO, to help them nutritionally. Because hospital business is not health business. It is actually disease business. And that is one takeaway that we should have. The real health is in the food, and it's in the safety of the food. So it is very paramount that we understand that. So at Celia Penny Foundation, we teach people how to eat healthy and make healthy choices. At Celia Penny Gene Nutrition, we educate people on how to handle food. So if you're eating your hot food in a plastic bowl, you know that there are chemicals leaching from that bowl into your food. If you are using a ceramic plate and it's cracked, and you think it's okay because you've watched it, there are chemicals leaching from that ceramic plate into your food. So we're still talking about food safety, food and making healthy choices. It's all up to you. Nobody can do that for you. And if there's any health issues, you hold yourself responsible. But what we do is educate you. So you keep learning and learning and learning. And we're here, we're supporting um, the organization in educating people, okay? Especially in food labeling, you understand what it means, how to read the label, and how to even produce the label, okay? So we're here, and we're just being very, very supportive. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. The question was going to be about the nutrition facts label. You know, it's very important when you're talking about food allergens and all of those things. It's been on the food label. Number one, what about the nutrition label, the nutrition fact itself, the proteins, the sugars, added sugar, and sugars that are called by other names, you know. So we all need to learn. There's no end to it. We must keep learning and we must keep teaching. You teach, people cannot teach anything they don't know, you know. So it's all up to us and we'll have to keep doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Mrs. Amori, your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. To tell everyone that stayed till now. Let me say I'm particularly happy to be here today, witnessing this inauguration of APFSAN. And I think we must give kudos to our own food evangelist. I call him food evangelist, Mr. Zach. Okay, you know, for picking up this challenge. This is long overdue, and I'm sure it's just a good time now for us to keep this. Mine is not actually a question, but a contribution to all that has been said. We didn't have enough time. Maybe the representative of the president of NIPS didn't have enough time to mention what NIPS has done with regard to food safety in Lagos State. And of course, that was also considered to other states of the federation. We do so much when it comes to advocacy on food safety. On land, on radio, in the media, we've been everywhere. In the last 7 years now, we've been to the several markets and all that. And so we are particularly happy that APFSAN is now domiciled in Lagos State, you know, and I'm sure that we, our team of food champions who have been trained, we are fully ready to join the team to achieve the goal of food safety in Lagos State. We are, like Dr. Okoro said, I am responsible for the safety of what I eat. And it starts with what everyone does. I once had an internship, you know, at the biggest farm in Southwest, which is Fruit Farm. And I discovered simple instructions of just put this before you enter the farm. What's the problem for workers? Food safety is a culture that must be imbibed. I've trained several on food safety. When the fresh food all started, I was the trainer of over 400 vendors at the fresh food hall. So I'm happy that the representative of the Ministry of Agriculture is here today, and even of the Commissioner for Agriculture, because the problem we have is we gather ourselves to talk to ourselves, but the stakeholders that are supposed to action whatever we have discussed, they are never in those meetings. Of course, it's almost the same today, but we have representatives. But I hope that they will pass this information across to the leaders, and we can actually have actionable plans that we can follow in Lagos State. So that is my contribution. It's a collective responsibility to ensure food safety. If you see something, say something. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Last question.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I can't say how amazing it is for me to be here. How I've been enjoying the whole thing. Thank you, Dr. Korowa. Thank you, Dr. Nureni, for everything, and thank you, Mr. Razak, for organizing this. My name is Jane. I'm a clinical dietitian nutritionist, and I run a private practice nutrition and dietary health services. So I have to bring this to the fore because we've been saying see something, say something, and that we need to just stop talking to ourselves. We need to say it out, say things out the way it is. My concern for today, because I have a lot of concerns, but let me focus on this one. My concern for today is this issue of supplements. I've been practicing post-qualification for more than 15 years. That thing has been of great concern to me. I can remember the first interview I gave to News Agency of Nigeria was on same supplement. The reporter came to me and was asking, where are the nutritionists, where are the food safety advocates? Because I believe that supplements can be classified as food. And where are the dietitians? That they noticed that a lot of people are being rushed into the intensive care unit because of liver failure. Now, let me give an example of one. Let me use one supplement for example. Like now, vitamin A. Based on the fact that most of the people that are selling this, most of the vendors, they don't know an iota about food. They don't know anything. Most of them don't know anything about nutrition. You'll find out that probably an individual needs, let's say, 10,000 international units of vitamin A. But because of the overzealousness, they can end up recommending 15,000 international units to individuals. Now, thank you, sir. The excess, we now, I'm just giving an example of vitamin A, there are many others. The excess will now go into the liver and so as retinol. And it now causes something like a hepatomegaly, enlargement of the liver. And believe me, most of the casualties caused by these supplements, most doctors cannot detect it, except to meet us. The dietitian, the nutritionist will run through your routine and will be able to tell you, based on the fact that they didn't use RDA, they don't know anything. They just come and tell. And believe me, a lot of people are falling victims. Something like vitamin D supplementation, excess of it can lead to kidney stones. But most people don't know. You just go to the doctor, you diagnose it like kidney stones, but nobody is tracing it to where it's actually coming from. Then there are also some supplements that are sugar coated and glucose coated to facilitate osmotic regulation into the body. But because these people don't know, they recommend it to diabetics. I have treated so many patients. I have to reverse it. They recommend to diabetics. The diabetic is taking the supplement. They told the diabetic not to take any carbohydrate food. The diabetic is emaciating, yet the sugar level is still high. So please, can we do something about this? Can we regulate it? Probably, if we can make a policy, just like my colleague here said, we need to implement, we need to make the policies and make sure it's done. Can we make a policy like, I'm making a suggestion, maybe for each of those supplement companies, maybe in this zone or in this local government, you must have maybe 3 nutritionists or food scientists monitoring whatever you're selling to anybody. Can it be done? I think I mentioned this some time ago, but it was not taken serious. So I thought I could say it out here. These things are really bringing people to casualties to ICU. Doctors don't even detect it. But it is there. So please, is there something we can do about it? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you very much. That is a reality, it's not a story. It's a reality, it's not a story. I think the first step is public awareness and mobilization. APFSAN to do an awareness creation on that in the marketplace, in different locations, in the church, in the mosques. So, because those are our areas where we can have impact. In the mosque on Sunday, on Friday on Friday in the mosque, on Sunday in the church, the youth groups of the church, your youth departments where you are. These are the kind of things we need to empower them, give them this information let them understand it, because they are most of the ones that we inform the elderly, okay, this is right, this is not right. So it's something that policy takes a long time. It's a very long process, and it's a government, you can't do policy by yourself. Policy is in the domain. You remember I said one of the stakeholders is government, and their role is to do what? Make policy. You can provide evidence, you have to provide the evidence for them to make policy. But I think our own part, the first thing we should do is sensitization, awareness creation. At the postnatal, at the neonatal, every area you can provide information to educate people. We always be welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. At least I know two people here, two nutritionists, that are so passionate about they are looking at me and I'm looking at them. So passionate about this nutrition and dietetics. Okay, but thank you for asking the question. So we have heard that there will be regulations. Cannot leave this place without giving Mr. Abdul Egbewole to say one or two things. After which the convener, Mr. Razak, will come and give us the vote of thanks and the closing remarks. Just 1 minute or 2 minutes, just say something to us. Thank you, sir. A round of applause for him.
Thank you. I actually didn't come here to say anything. I just come here to watch what is going on and then revert back and see what we can do next. First thing is me, I'm not given to talking. I'm given to acting and doing the, walking the talking. My question is, after all the celebrations today, what next? What is the way forward? Do we just talk? All of us go back home and business as usual? I don't think it should be. So APFSAN should APFSAN, okay, APFSAN, okay. APFSAN should take a cue from today. All the recommendations so far, all the presentations and good messages, kindly put them together and ensure that in another 1 month, you should be able to distill what needs to be done, so that probably before the end of the year, you can act on some of those things. And I'm saying that we are not there yet, but it's good we are doing something. We are at least moving forward than what it used to be. My appeal is all those people that came here and from various ministries and agencies, we still need to bring them together so that if it's a 2-day or 2-day discussion, you found out that everybody is saying this is what I'm doing. Can we verify what they're actually doing? Are they doing exactly what they are doing? I just chuckle when I listen to all of them. Are they really doing all those things? If they are doing it, what is the evidence? But we are not here to criticize or to crucify anyone. The fact remains that all of us are in the it. All of us are victims of this malpractice. And we don't do something, we will end up having issues hereafter. Hereafter this event. My appeal is every one of us involved today should have something to do on a serious matter practically, including the nutritionists and dietitians. Whatever level we are, agriculturists or whatever, environmentalists and health practitioners, we must come up with something that will be practicable, such that we will educate those who do not know on a regular basis, whether in the church or in the mosque, in the market or our home, on radio, on television. At least we are doing something on radio now, news, and we are doing something in newspaper and the rest of it. But it's not enough. News alone cannot do it. All of us, as we are seated there, despite even if we are 1,000 seated here, it's not enough. The more organizations are involved, the better, including the agriculturists and whatever position you find yourself. So we are appealing to every one of you. Probably when next we are meeting, we will have a concretized plan that we can action between now and December or by the year 2025. The way we were marking World Food Safety Day, all scattered all over the place, without having anything to do with ensuring that people have something to take home. We must have some flyers, handbills that people will take. Even those who are not educated will give it to their children to read to them. I was in Asaba about a month, that was in July, and I had to distribute some of these flyers that NIPS have done with respect to 5 key words or 5 key safety, whatever, that the organization has certified. And the hotels there were wondering that where did we get this from? This has been a thing for more than 10 years. And they are just seeing it for the first time. Now we are going to Kano in October. I want to believe we carry the gospel according to food safety there too. Thank God, Sokoto State and Katsina has been launched. We will try to do something in Kano with respect to APFSAN, so that APFSAN, forgive me, I will get, I'm a late learner. so that we can continually ensure that we do something to help the populace. I'm happy Dr. Okoroa is a personal friend and professional colleague. Equally said that GAIN is equally working towards having food safety club in schools. We are into that. We are already doing it in NIPS, and we want it to be done all over the place, whether in primary school or in secondary school and in tertiary institutions, whichever. We will even have them in various marketplaces. Somebody was suggesting the issue of food safety police. We don't need police. The word police sends a wrong signal. You understand me? But we can have volunteers or even people we employ to ensure that food safety is implemented in various organizations, whether even at home, in CDAs, in marketplaces, and wherever you can find them. Talking from now to tomorrow is not enough, but actions is very important. And we are looking forward to that from Razak and his team. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Today is well spent. This is Ibrahim. I know you are supposed to be at 3 floor. You're going up and down because you have a program there. I want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate everyone that is here today. Daniel, I want to appreciate everyone that is here today because, like I said, getting all these high-profile government officials to sit for over 2 hours, they have never experienced it because immediately they stop, they leave. And so I want to appreciate them. And I equally want to appreciate all of us that took their time to come around here today. It would not have been possible because somebody told me that to spell the word success, we can't do it without letter U. You remove letter U, you can't spell the word success successfully. So all of us here today are the letter U. U. That make it to be successful. So it has been tough for me to drive our chairman, Dr. Augustine Okorua, all the way from Ibadan. No, it's not easy. I know he's an highly respected person because he initially said he's supposed to be in Abuja. Now he's here. And I just go only two. A very busy person. For you to be here, we have to appreciate him. I want to appreciate Alaja. You know, like he said, it's a volunteering thing. If I tell you that what went into it to be successful, Alaja was here yesterday and more or less as if she didn't collect anything for decoration. And she has been supporting us to do decoration here and there. Albarika. Alaja, I want to appreciate you. And she's not only here today, she came with her entire family. You know what? There are times when you see people that are passionate about things, you don't need anything. Before she came here, I did not even pay her anything. Before she mobilized everything that year. So I want to appreciate you, Alaja. God will continue to bless you and honor you. God will bless the work of your hand. Everyone, yeah, you know, we are blessed in it. Because I'm a lifter, and I'm proud to be a lifter. Everything I achieve here to this, in fact, in this world, knowing this one, Lagos University of Science and Technology, they are having exam. I have to excuse myself to come here. I have to appreciate you today. In the next 2 weeks, Madam Tia Penny, we are going to meet another high-profile function where we are going to have acting DG, former PDG of NAFTA, going to be there. When I look at the profile, people that are going to talk, I thought Tia Penny, this man is here again, it's a trademark hairstyle. So I want to appreciate you. Madam Jane, I want to appreciate you. The other food, because there's a woman that traveled away from Ibadan to be here. So for you to see people that are passionate about. 2 days ago, I was telling people I fought at Ministry of Environment to get them to be here. Me, I'm not afraid to fight it. Because for good things, you know, imagine when somebody was telling you, maybe the ministry is not interested. I have to drop my fight. I said, I want to see the commissioner. You know that kind of thing. I can see anybody because of the help of Almighty God. So I want to appreciate everybody that is here. The FCCPC, I'm happy that you are here today because the last 3 years, anytime we're having food safety programs, safety commission, LASCOPA, they don't turn up. I went to Abuja in April and I complained bitterly to the executive vice chairman that we have a program, these people, they never turn up. And they told me that when you are writing letter again, write to Abuja, don't write to Lagos. You force them to come here. And I know they forced me down here today. So I want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate you. Madam Priska is there. The manager here. You understand? Everybody has been very, very supportive. You know, for you to use our home without paying the money in food, you know, they respect you because integrity is there. So I want to appreciate everybody that is there. Last minute, you just get some people information. I want to appreciate you. My dear friend here, the chairman of Petro Venture, you know this thing is being seen live. And people have been commenting, that have been watching it. It's a food technology too, but it's a web man, and he's there. Look at Hand up for the conclusion now. Let's see your face. He's the tallest man in this building. Let's see your face now. Olùkọ́lá is there. Thank you. I want to appreciate you. All members of Lagos State caterers and Lagos State caterers and decorators association that came here today, we want to appreciate you. They came here at the same time as that, and you forgot to put our logo there. I said, don't worry. We have about 3 programs this year. All the programs are going to put your logo. You understand? So I want to appreciate everybody because this program last minute. All the others that are here today, I want to appreciate you. Mr. Morolua, you understand? He was the first person that registered as a member. I want to appreciate you. That's our able vice chairman of Lagos chapter. He's here. That means these some people they are here, though they refuse to give us that. But thank God, we have all other people that want to. Most importantly, I want to appreciate UAC Group. They are here. UAC Group are here, but I was afraid. I want to take that their hygienic ice cream. I don't buy ice cream on the road, but they came through for us. God will bless your business. They gave us their thinking. They have been marked every day to market their thinking. They are here. And gala and the ice cream. You understand? So I was looking for the spring water. They actually want to appreciate it. Allah food represented there by Mr. Charity. So anytime you are calling them for they don't turn up. Somebody said, Azam, what did you use? How did you manage to get them here? And they are here. They were having a retreat because their senior corporate manager said he's supposed to be here. We have somebody to come here. So
We want to appreciate you, we want to appreciate the organization. And when we call on you, it's not only products, we want funds. We want liberties, we want more. We want to appreciate everybody that's here. Mr. Laleye, she gave me okay. I want to appreciate you. There are many people that can't forget here. Eh? Yeah. Olutola, yes, I'm looking at you. I want to appreciate you. All members of Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. You know, for me to write, and the president said somebody who and represent Nigeria. The president is not currently in Nigeria, he's in Germany. And he said, he has to. And you can see, like we said, everything. We are open to collaboration. Nobody can do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. For the Loma to say they are ready to join us, you know, it says a lot. Waste management is an issue. We have traveled around, and thank God the woman was there. When you go to Calabar, their waste management thing is far better than Lagos. But when you look at the population in Lagos, you understand? Not an easy thing. So I want to appreciate everybody. Agasika, Dr. Luele Okaleye, I want to appreciate you. Yeah, I want to appreciate you. God bless you, sir. God bless you. God bless you. And God will continue to bless you with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we need. So as we say bye-bye today, this is not the last time you are hearing from us, because we are going to continue with advocacy. I'm going to engage everybody that have registered here and those that have registered online. I'm going to engage you. We have a lot of training materials, and just like our daddy has said, we talk too much. We need to act. A-C-T. Food business, food safety is everybody's business. When you see something, say something. And when they said, if it's not safe, it's not food. Then that means it's poison. And nobody wants to consume poison. So as we are living here today, may the God Almighty ensure a safe trip for all of us. And when we are going to gather again, quarterly we are going to have a program, we are going to have a webinar, and we are going to be disturbing you. And anytime we call on you, please, feel free. We are going to enter market. Enter market. Because if there is going to be outbreak of food poisoning, it happen there. It's an regulated sector. So, and we are here. But I find that those of us that have the knowledge, we are a bit far away from them. And when you correct these people, interesting enough, they listen. That the most difficult set of people to correct are the elite. Because they tell you what will happen. What will happen? So we are going to change the mindset, and God Almighty God is going to bless us. Thank you, everyone. Lutola he studied food technology, but he has been to several other activities, and as of today, he's a wizard in whatever I want to think about, events, live streaming, or whatever I want to do, technology or whatever. So I want to appreciate you. See, they are telling. But no, but he's so low and humble ourselves. There's nothing we are organizing, no matter how small. We present ourselves, give us support. God will support you. Just to follow our please come. And then let's go back, sorry. State commission. Those I may not remember, please. Where is Taiwo? Taiwo was supposed to represent me, Secretariat. And Mrs. Amorioluwa, please, put your paparazzi down and come. The reason I'm doing this is that if and when we get to the bridge to really do the work, I want to believe that we can count on some of you here for whatever we need to do. I know you're always a very busy person, but wherever you are, you can see effort to get message across. I appreciate each and every one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This one. Mrs. Ojo, don't go and hide yourself. Come. If we can pull you out from the Kodu all the way, all the way from the Kodu, and when you are doing exams, we appreciate you so much. Razak, God bless you. I say thank you to all of you on behalf of. They say Razak today at the center. Don't flunk me to Joe. We thank all of you. All those who have been thanked or those who have not been thanked, I take responsibility for thanking all of you. And God bless you as you go back to your various homes. And your paparazzi, we thank all of you, the media team. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Before you do the closing prayer, most importantly, since last year, anytime I'm having program, two technology students of Yaba College of Technology, they are always present. They are here. Stand up for recognition. I'm going to snap with you. You can see them. They are here. They are here. So I want to appreciate it. Please wait behind. We will talk.
The best, number one, nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh, I believe. I know I can count on me to stand up for the champion, for the champion. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just.
Can we be upstanding, please? In Jesus' name. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for today's program. We thank you because you have been God all through. We appreciate patience of grace, be thou exalted, Lord, in Jesus' name. Ancient of grace, we pray, and we pray for all that have been inaugurated today. As we are going in this journey, we pray that you give us the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge to do everything right in the name of Jesus. And by the end of everything, Lord God Almighty, we pray that you continue to give them the strength to go from strength to strength in the name of Jesus. Lord, as we are going home, we pray that you be with all of us in the name of Jesus. We'll get to our greater destination in the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Okay, thank you very much. So the agencies that have not taken their photograph, FCC, PC, and any other agency, please come forward. I'm not taking, you have not been a part of the group photograph, FCC, PC, please come forward. Yabatek, another person, please move forward. Mr. Daniel, do we have Lascopa?